Yo, 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 yo. I'm in the car. I'm headed to get Drees now, Sheree. What's happening, family? What's going on out there? Reading underscore 215. Tyshawn Witts. Gene V. T Raw. Ebony. What's happening? We got a good one. Is love a feeling or a decision? Is love a feeling or a decision? That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, we letting the room warm up a little bit. Um, while we letting the room build up, and you let me know how you feel about this, Sheree. I was gonna say let's just do a little. It don't have to be no major recap, but a little recap of the trip. What you think? Nah,
Mhm.
okay, all right, okay. We'll leave that alone. He's gonna leave it alone. No problem. No problem. All right. So what we talking about? You want to start us off, Sheree? Little Blessings Academy. All right, get
Hey,
it moving.
Bridget. That's Bridget
Oh,
from the
all right. What's up,
retreat.
Bridget? Yeah,
Hey, Terrence.
the real Terrence Davidson. What's up, bro?
So, okay, we missed last week because we were in Paris. Jamal wants me to talk about it, but I'm not. We had a blast. It was amazing, and we're back. So, if anybody's new, I am Cherie. That is Jamal. We've been married going on 13 years, February 14th. And it's been a rocky road for us. And then 2020 happened, and then the pandemic happened, and then things just got back on track.
We
So
can
we
make this
started this
right.
podcast um in what
Last year, pretty much.
last year. Pretty much it'll be a year because we actually
Yeah.
started after we had our first couples retreat, and we just pretty much come on and discuss relationships, single life, just everyday life topics. And we discuss it from our point of view. So of course we don't know everything, and we don't have all the answers, but we're just giving to you guys from our standpoint. So the tonight's topic is love a feeling or a decision? So Jamal, would you like to answer that?
Clarence, what up, bro? Yeah. So, is love a feeling or decision? So, like, I'm gonna give, of course, how I feel, and it'll be like a briefing of how I feel about the topic, and then of course you'll get yours, and then we'll invite some people on, and we'll go into more of it, and that's how the flow of the show really goes. Um, so, um, from my perspective, is love a feeling or decision? So I think that, from my perspective, I think love is, and you know what, it's funny because I was thinking of love from the concept of marriage. Um, like I'm thinking like that. That's like the ultimate commitment would be marriage. You know what I mean? Not just necessarily loving something, because I think if we're just talking about a blanketed love, I think love can be a feeling. If we're just talking about loving something, um, it can be, like a chemical feeling. Literally, a feeling of emotion comes across you when you see this thing or person or whatever the case may be. Um, so I think in that aspect, it's a feeling. But if we're talking about, I guess, love at its highest plateau in a relationship would be marriage. And in that case, I think that that's when love becomes a decision. When you decide to take this feeling that you have, um, and you decide to commit to that person for a long period of time or forever. You know what I mean? At that point, when we're talking about marriage, I think it is a decision, because now we're talking about for building a family. We're talking about the business of a family and the business of love, because you have um, finances that now you're engaged with someone else with finances, and you know what I mean, assets, houses and things like that. So I think, once it gets to the ultimate form of love for the opposite person, which I guess would be, in our standards of society, will be marriage. I think at that point, it's a decision, and I think also for it, it can be different for men and women. I think for women it can be a feeling, you know, because a lot of times, we thinking about that feeling of that marriage. You know what I mean? The feeling of having your day. The feeling of having that title. You know what I mean? And I think that can be a feeling. You know what I mean? And I think for men, it's not always as rosy, because it's like, what, this is a decision I'm making, because if it doesn't go right, then the feeling of being separated from our children, the feeling of, what I mean, possibly splitting half, what I mean, or whatever the case may be, if it goes south, the feeling of, having to have on my shoulders that I have to provide, for this family, or whatever the case may be. So at that point, I think for men, it's a decision that you make. Like, you know what, I'm going to do this. You know, and like I said, for women, I think that it can be a feeling, because um, it's so much, you know, praise, it's so much accolade that's given to a woman when you get married, from the stage of a wedding, down to walking around and having that as a title, and even having a man that has committed to you, and that is, saying, "Hey, I'm going to be the protector and the provider." I mean, this man, he going to lay down his life literally for the family. You know what I mean? So, in that case, like I said, it's a feel. You know what I mean? So that's how I think about it loosely while we just talking about it. And that's just my first little spill. But let me hear from y'all. How y'all feel about it? What up,
Well,
Hi.
hey.
Jumbo?
So you go, please don't do that. Carter be doing it too much to me. But go ahead. Y'all do
So
y'all's first.
for me, I don't think it's a man or a woman thing. I definitely think love is a feeling. You decide to leave someone even though you love them. You can leave them even though you love them, but you don't decide to love anybody. That is a total feeling. You feel when you love someone, but if it's not going the way you want it to go, you decide to leave them, but you still love them though. Because, and the only reason why I say that is because you have some people who are still in love with people, and when they talk about them, the feeling shows that they still love that ass, but they decided not to be with them because of the circumstances. But I feel like love is definitely a feeling for sure, both sides, hands down. There's no such thing as a you decided to love me and you decided to marry me and you decided to be with me. No, if you love me because you feel the same way I feel, that's your feelings. It has nothing to do with a decision. And that's for a man and a woman. But people do decide to not be with someone that they love because things are just not working out. But they still love them deep down inside.
Simple. He had a whole hour paragraph, and I'm like, I'm trying to. They simple and not simple at the same time, Mel's.
Mhm.
But I understood where he was trying to get at. But I feel like you put a better cap on it, because I feel like he was kinda saying some of the stuff that you just said quickly.
Mhm.
Like
Mhm.
you said it quickly. He did a lot. So yeah, like a feeling like I could tell you I don't feel like being a mom. I don't.
Mhm.
But I love my child. So love is my feeling. So
Mhm.
I decided to continue to be his mother and not just toss him off somewhere. So just giving a different perspective on relationship and just, feelings with love and decisions. I made my decision. I do love my child, and I decided to keep the child and take care of him. So for this, it's as simple as that. Like, it's decisions.
Yeah,
Because
I don't think love is. I really don't feel
because
like
you
love is a decision. I feel like love for sure is a feeling, but you decide to continue or not continue with
that's
that person,
that's
even though you
exactly
still love them. Like you can love them
exactly
and decide not to be with them.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I gave that example with my child. Like,
Right,
I made the decision that, all right, I'm gonna just
right.
stick you.
And I mean, it's the
I'm
same
gonna
way
keep
with
you.
your
I'm gonna keep
child.
you
If your
around.
child is
Like,
out of control and they're doing certain things,
and you just
and
want to strangle
you
them,
just
but
you know what, I'm gonna keep
you
them
love
over here,
them,
but you love them from a distance, and that's
and
a
you and just
decision.
and in relationships, sometimes like you a grown person.
Hmm.
That's the decision. Like, you know what? I really don't have to deal with you. You're not really a big responsibility. I love you.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's certain things. It's
Jomo,
certain
you said
things.
children is a bit. Why is that a bad example? Because that's just like if your child is a killer. Like
I'm gonna love
you
my
gonna
child
decide
regardless.
to turn that ass in, but you love them. you,
And
no,
I'm not going to, yeah.
I think the reason why having a child is different is because this is something. This is the only thing that this is life coming from you.
I just
You know
gave
what
a
I mean?
light example. This wasn't supposed to be a big example. It was supposed to
Right.
be something how I took it. I took it that way where it's like you said, feelings and examples. Like, like you feel or decide. Like, at times I feel
Hold on.
like, yes, I love this child, but I don't feel like dealing with this child. But I love this child, and I decided my decision was to keep loving and taking care of this child instead of tossing them. In a relationship, you can love a person, and that's your feelings, but you may decide certain things is not working for you in that relationship. So
Hmm.
you leave, not changing that you love them, but you just changing your direction because they're not working for you. That doesn't change the love. Like, I love my son, but I just decided to keep dealing with the child. That it was just a light, different gesture for me. That's all. That's how I was seeing it. Because I'm going through it, basically.
Go ahead, Jeff. Talk
Go
to
ahead. I'm sorry. Hello.
Parlez-vous français,
Hey,
Jeff?
how's it going? Hollywood Francais.
bonjour, bonjour.
Nah, look, I just think it's a difference. Here you go, bonjour. I think it's a difference between loving your child and loving somebody in a relationship. Like that's not. That's all. I just think
Love is love to
that's
me.
just not. Nah, that's not comparable. Because with your children, that's more unconditional love.
You don't think your
Like
relationship is
with a
unconditional
person in a
love?
relationship,
Dang.
like you said, you could. No, ain't no such thing. Well, on the man's side, ain't no such. We don't get unconditional love. No, we don't. So, sorry.
Word.
No, we
So it's
get love under
decisions.
conditions. Huh?
It's decisions for y'all.
Say it again. For us, no. I'm talking about y'all don't love us unconditionally. Women don't love men unconditionally.
Break that down. Break
We have
that
to provide something. We have to provide something to y'all. Y'all don't just like us because y'all like us. That's not how it works. Like that's usually how children. Like you love your children because that's your child. It came from you. You as a
And plenty
woman.
of women
That
gave up
child.
their child.
Yeah, but that don't mean they don't love them. Like that's not. It's a
But
feeling.
it's
Like you
still a
said, it's a feeling.
decision.
It's not a choice.
It still
Huh?
was the decision.
But that don't mean you don't love them because you gave them away. You just made a bad decision.
So it was a bad decision.
That's not nothing to do with love, though.
But
Most people would tell you
in a
they gave away their
relationship,
kids
they
because they
look
couldn't
as a bad
afford them.
decision if certain things happen. Like, you say you love them, but you left them. Why did you leave them?
Because you ain't like them. You can
So it
love
was a
somebody
bad
that you don't like.
decision.
No, what do you mean it's a bad
All right,
decision? If you like somebody, you like
I'm gonna shut
somebody.
my mouth up.
Hey, there you go. Like I'm answering your question. No, I didn't say a bad decision. You like again, you mixing children with relationships. So giving away a child, however you say it, Brenda got a baby or putting them up for adoption, that's a bad decision. That's usually something they made in the
All
moment.
I was saying
Like more
was
people,
giving an example for my brain, me only, for
I
me
mean,
to
I'm talking to you.
yes, for me to acknowledge and just recognize what was going on and just give a different, perspective for me to understand the concept of
So I say,
relationship, period. Because a relationship, because
but
as an
again,
adult,
a relationship with a
because
man is different than a relationship with a child.
yeah, no, it is a
So this
relationship
is
with a
this is
child.
this is a
I
platform.
have a relationship with my child.
Me too,
So therefore,
but
that
it's
was just
different.
my perspective, and I use that as an
I get
example.
you, and I'm giving mine, and now you're not gonna let me do it.
No, no, no,
I'm just saying it's a
because
different
we
it's a
still talking
different
about the child, and
situation.
I just wanted to say that as making sure I was on
Because
the
that's
same
what I
page. And
came in
now
for, to tell
I'm
y'all why I feel
done.
this.
Like now I'm done. I'm like I don't want to talk about kids no
Cool.
more.
That's fine, but I am. So I'm just telling you my difference was that it's a difference. You said, why do I think it's a bad idea? Because relationship between a parent and a child is different than a relationship between two adults.
Okay.
And I felt like that was a bad example because this is a show about relationships between two adults.
So okay, so it
Okay.
being back on
Okay.
adults,
Yeah.
do you feel like men decide to love a woman or a woman decides to love a man?
A decision, no, it's a feeling. I said that it's a feeling. It's something you feel, and you can stop feeling that way.
Right, because you decide no, you can't. I don't feel like nobody
Okay.
really
My
truly
phone is
decides to
ringing.
love
I'm gonna
somebody.
try to. I'll try to time back in, but I have to go. Thank
Okay.
you for your input.
Oh
Love,
yeah.
Okay.
peace, and
Have a
soul.
good night.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Same to you. No, I think it's a feeling, Cherie. Like, I mean, like, you don't decide to feel a certain way. I mean, how you feel about somebody is how you feel about
Mhm.
them. Like, I don't remember exactly what you said, but I kind of disagree because people still have love. It's a difference between in love, having love. It's different levels. There's levels to
Mhm.
everything. You know what I'm saying? And like being in love with somebody is a feeling. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people leave people because they're not in love with them no more. I haven't heard that before. I don't love you no more. All right, cool. I mean, like, what can you do about that? Like,
I think they be
you know what I'm
lying though,
saying?
but okay.
I mean, look, I know I done dealt with girls that
Do you
still
feel like
fuck.
somebody
Like,
can be in love?
I ain't gonna say
Do you
love
think a person can be in love with more than one person?
as a man. Yeah, I mean, your heart don't have no cutoff. I mean, women too. I believe you can love more than one person. I dealt with somebody that was still in love with they ex, they abusive baby father. Yup, yup. And I could tell. And then everybody thought I was crazy until me and her stopped dealing with each other, and they got back together. And then yeah, I mean it's just how it is. Some people, it's a feeling.
Hmm.
Sometimes you can't control your feelings. You can't. You don't decide to be angry and decide not to be angry. I mean, you can have control over it, but I don't think it's a decision. I mean, like she said though, that's just my perspective
Well, Jamal
from
said it
my
was a
brain.
decision. I ain't say that.
I mean, that's cool. Listen, me and Jamal, we disagree sometimes.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, like that's why I'm like, it ain't like a every time Jamal, me and Jamal, we connect on some stuff, we disagree on some stuff. We had good conversations and we respect
For
each other.
sure.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm not married. I
Marriage
mean,
doesn't have anything to do with someone loving
yeah,
somebody.
dude.
No, it does not.
Yeah, because as a married man, like you can decide not to love, but like you got to stick it out. It's your duty as a man, like to make it work for your family. To me, in my opinion.
I don't think
So
marriage
that's
has
another level.
nothing to do with love. Like you can love somebody and
Okay.
not be married to them. Like you can unconditionally love
No,
someone
that's true.
and not be married to them
No,
at
that's true.
all.
That is true. That is true. But I just think it's different. You get a different feeling. Like I could walk away from love quicker because I'm not married.
Yeah, that's
I feel like I can walk away. I'm
That
out.
ain't true either, because it don't be that easy, especially if you with somebody that you've been with for a certain amount of time. People don't just get up and
that's
just
how he
walk
feel.
away
He
like
just
that.
how he feel. He's being transparent about how he feels
I know,
about it.
I hear what he's
Yeah, I'm
saying.
just saying as a single. No, I'm just saying like as a single person not committed to somebody. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Now, if I had somebody I committed to, like, and I'm like, we gonna be together, and like, we got a family, then yeah, I gotta fight and make it work. Like I can't just walk away. You know what I'm saying? It's consequences to that. But I mean, that's just me. Like I said, I'm single. Y'all married. You know what I mean?
Which that has nothing to do with it, but okay.
I mean, we got different lifestyles. You know what I'm saying? I can walk away. Y'all gotta make it work. Y'all got kids, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's it.
Like
But
the
that's the part.
slightest little thing, like you don't put the toilet seat up for me.
Mm.
I'm out.
Did you
You know
say
what
don't
I'm
put the
saying?
toilet seat up? I'm out.
Yeah, you don't put the toilet seat. I gotta leave the toilet seat down. Do you leave the toilet seat up for me? No, I'm out.
You know what? I'm crying. See, Jenny
Toilets don't come with the seat up.
Okay, that part it definitely come with
Like,
the seat
come
down.
up from the-
Parlez-vous
But they come with
français?
the option to go up. They can go up
That's
though. Doors don't come
that's that
closed.
flexibility.
Doors don't come open, but you can open them,
Whatever. That's
Johns.
that flexibility. Stop.
Oh, man, see, I will be out on her right there. I'll be out.
You sound like remember the breakup when she broke up with what you call him over the lemons? And he just
Yeah,
didn't get it. It's not about the lemons. It ain't about you can hate who you commit yourself to. You don't have to like who you married
I'm
to.
him.
Marriage don't make love. People do that.
Hmm.
No, I ain't say they make love. Like this is the people be in marriages and don't be in love. Oh shit, hold up my chicken right here. Hold on.
I came in all look. I'm
Hey,
just
Michelle.
Yeah, I do believe marriage don't mean you in love. It is marriage is more duty to me than being in love. Like you don't just marry somebody because you love them. Because love is a feeling, and love can go away.
I don't think love
so
go away.
I don't think you. Oh, hold on. Sorry,
Oh
I
my
had to
shit
come
fucked up.
downstairs. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Jen. So how you feel about
Listen,
the whole concept?
did
Because you know what I mean.
y'all
We
bring
want
me
to
back
hear.
Yeah,
my little teeny paper tower? That's all I want to know. All I want to know is that y'all bring me back my little teeny paper Eiffel Tower. I put a
We
Yeah,
got you a
request in.
keychain.
oh, we got you. We got you.
Thanks, guys. I think it's both
mm.
Oh,
I can
explain
go
that.
with that.
Why would you say that?
because I feel like love happens so quickly. You don't even
Mm.
realize that it actually happened. Like that's the energy crossing part. And I think we was on here before when I was talking about how really you can actually love a person before you decide that you actually like them, because liking them is the process of learning how they are.
Mm.
And then like but I also believe that once you love a person you can't unlove them. Like you just can't do it. I think you can fall out of practicing romance with them. I think your
Mm.
interests can change. I think because unless you absolutely hate the person, what are you want even unloving them for? What? Because y'all just not in a relationship.
Y'all might not get along.
Y'all don't have to get along. That doesn't mean that I hate you. That means that I respect the fact that our relationship went this far, and at this point, you are a thorn in my side, and we just can't keep going that way no more. So this is where we stop. Okay, love you bye. See how that? See, love you bye. See, like that. I don't think
But do
it's,
you really love them?
huh?
Wouldn't love make you work it out?
No,
No.
love. Listen, love don't stop people from doing anything, good, bad, or indifferent. People want to do what they want to do, and they can still have like a whole lot of love for you. They can still care about you a great deal, and still just want to do what they want to do.
Levels.
And it can hurt you or whatever. Maybe it won't. But if you're like in a relationship with a person, you
Blackie
love it.
cat.
You know what I'm saying? Huh? You
I
gotta
said
be
it
in the
was levels
next
to the love,
action.
though.
Being smart.
Are you still head over heels in love? Probably not.
It don't. Whether it's head over heels, whether it's it doesn't matter. Like it's a
It definitely
choice. It's a
matters.
choice. You
Mm.
choose like a
So
lot of
you
people.
control who you
Some
love.
people hate who they with. Like a lot of people are with each other based on circumstance. They don't like who they with. I'm here. I've been here this long. Like they going along to get
A
along.
lot of people
Get
settle.
content.
A lot of people settle.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
So you have to want something different. Like I was having a conversation with somebody. I told them I can't unlove any of my exes. I'm not in love with
Mm.
them. I'm not practicing being in a relationship with them. I don't hate them though. So
So you have a
Period.
respectful.
I have, and the thing
Ain't
the
that
thing is
different?
this. I feel like people don't really understand love because I feel like when you see people come out of a relationship and they trying to make their ex jealous, they're still in
Mm-hmm.
that relationship to me to a degree. Because your energy
To me
shouldn't
too.
even be focused on trying to make somebody that you left mad. You left them. So what you trying to make them mad for? Like you haven't
Hmm.
brought closure to that relationship. So you still trying to fight indirectly and get their attention and make them mad, but for what? So to me,
I don't think that's love though.
huh?
I don't think that's love.
It might be, well, jealousy is a form of love. Bitterness is a form of love. It's all
I said it's levels.
it's like all those effects of what can happen when the
Yeah,
relationship
love
didn't
is
go your way. Like you just be you just want to have your way. So you still like well
Stop it.
they uglier than I was. I don't even care. Like how people go through all that stupid stuff. I know
A lot
exactly what
of
I'm
it.
talking about.
A lot of it is ego too, though. It's not a lot of that sound like ego,
It
and
is.
like even when, like you said, like people still trying to make other people jealous or getting out of relationships and jumping right into another one. That's a red flag right there. You're supposed to take some time to yourself, get your mind right, get yourself together before you try to work with anybody else. Once you get out of the situation, so a lot of people mess up there. You know what I mean? So you might still be in love with your ex and try to jump into
some
something
people
else.
mess with people that look like
And
the people they was with.
I had, I swear to, so I promise you, Sheree, I had a girl that I used to deal with, and the next dude she messed with, they called this nigga, what is this nigga? This nigga name was Domo.
That was his
I
real
swear to
name.
God, yo. I,
That was his real name.
I swear to God. That his real, I don't know, nigga. I mean, that's what I heard they called him. His
Oh,
name was
man.
Domo, and everybody used to joke me. I mean, like wow, like, that's crazy, but whatever.
Hey, it happens. People do it.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, I get it, but I just think I don't think some of the things that we are saying is love is actually love. A lot of like you said, like envy is a form of love, but is it the love that you want? Is that the positive love that we looking for?
I don't even know if it be love we looking for sometimes. I think sometimes, most of the time, we probably looking for cooperation and just,
Well, that's exactly what I'm looking for,
huh?
and respect. I'm looking for cooperation and respect.
I'm not looking
That's
for
what I
nothing.
need. You
It's
give
all
me
a
that, we
scam.
good.
Where's my sign? Hold on, Cherie.
Love
Oh
is work.
shit!
The question
Not
is,
not the signs.
there or was there ever a purpose or goal behind the love, the work, the relationship,
Mm-hmm.
not just the person alone? Because people change and some people stop growing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good
Yep,
point. And
that's a
I
great
heard
point.
somebody say like for like a marriage to work, you have to be in love with the idea of marriage, not with just being in love with that person. You got to be in love with the concept of marriage itself. You know what I mean? Which is interesting
Mm-hmm.
because he was saying, people will disappoint you. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, people change. And so if you loving somebody that changes or if you loving somebody that disappoints you, that could make your love for the commitment waver. But if you just love the concept and the understanding of partnership or of marriage, then you're going to look at those challenges differently. You're gonna understand that that's a part of, what I'm saying, the growing phases of, a partnership. You're gonna go through stuff and, look at it differently. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes we use love. I think we misuse love. You know what I mean? I think that we immaturely use love and as an excuse. You know what I mean? We use love as an excuse. Why you do that dumb shit? Oh, I was in love. You know what I mean? Why you flatting his tire? I was in love with him. Why you have, you know what I mean, 7 kids by the boy if you knew that he already got another 12 kids out there? Well, I just was in love. So love is really it's nothing. It is a feeling. And if you can't build anything off of a feeling, you know what I mean? So when you look at people that have successful marriages, a lot of those marriages or partnerships, because I don't even want to just use marriages to make people feel like, oh, I have to be married. You know what I mean? That because that's not a necessity, and it's not something to make anybody feel like they're not complete if they're not married. But partnership is something that we should seek when we're raising children, when we're, you know what I mean, when we're trying to, when we're trying to grow as adults and, have that companionship, partnership. But a lot of times, even with partnerships, back in the day, you didn't even get a chance to choose the person you was going to be married to because they understood it was bigger than just love. You know what I mean? It had to do with legacy. It had to do with, you know what I mean, with building a family. It had to do with, are these two people that have an understanding and have an upbringing that's going to, yield, you know what I'm saying, raising kids and, and moving forward in life from that aspect. Are these people competent in doing that? It wasn't just like, well, is this person cuter or this person cute? Do you feel bubbles in your stomach? So we be trying to build a legacy with somebody off of love, but love really is just a feeling. It's more. It takes more to a partnership, a long-term partnership, than just love. Love ain't nothing but a feeling. You know what I mean? You can love all kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean that's the shit that you need to build a lifelong legacy with or a partnership with. You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes we get too caught up in love, you know what I mean? And, we got to kind of grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like some of the best relationships or partnerships came out of, you know what I'm saying, them not even being, in love per se. And they grew to love each other or grew to understand the significance of, you know what I'm saying, their partner. So like I said, we probably got to really start to rethink this whole love thing. We still loving motherfuckers like we in high school, and it's like, grow up, my nigga. You need to be looking for a partner that's compatible.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like you want
high
that high
school.
school love, the sweetheart John, and you know what I mean, king and prime queen shit. No, that shit is for that. Like you know what I mean. And I think we still stuck into wanting to fall in love. You know what I mean. So that's my opinion. You know what I mean. I think that those lifelong partnerships take way more. Love is probably the last thing that you need. You know what I mean? Last component or the last, you know what I mean? Or the least important component to having a long term, you know what I'm saying, relationship. You know what I mean? So that's my perspective on it. You know what I mean? How you feel about that, Sheree?
Um, I think that it's not people being immature, it's the fact that people are lacking in a lot of things that they're not receiving. So it may seem immature and you want that high school love is because that's what real love is. Like you want the real thing. You don't want the fake, oh, I'm only with you because it's just a thing. Or, is this which I'm surprised didn't get a lot of votes. I had someone put a presentation ship or is it a presentation ship or is it a relationship? And a lot of people get caught up in like, social media, things like that, what they feel like it should look like. But it's like when you looking for, that cuddling on the couch, watching a movie, holding hands in the park, kissing, affectionate, everything is like, ew, who the hell did that? This ain't no Tyler Perry shit. What? That's what love is. That's what you want. You want that affection. You want somebody to love you in public and in private. Don't just be loving them on me when we behind closed doors, but when we outside, you act like you don't know me, or you got an image to what hell because there's certain people around. It's like I want that kind of love. Yeah, I want that TV love, and ain't nothing, and I don't think that that's an immature way of thinking of love. Like that's what it is. You want somebody to worship you, just like you would want them to worship you.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying, but it's like,
Yeah, I
but
disagree.
yeah, I disagree. And my thing is, I think that Tyler Perry love is a scam. I think that these story
Stop taking my
tells.
word.
I got you. See, I knew. That was
Don't
just
do
for you, Jen.
that.
I
You know
promise you, that
what?
was just
Let
for
me
you,
go find
Jen.
my sign. I'm
That
gonna
was
make a
just for you.
movie.
I promise you, it was just for you.
Amen.
Cause look, hey Jomo, cause they try to dispute what I'm saying, but I had to kick one of her words to her. You feel me? So she get, you mean? So
There you
she can
go.
get,
I
you
don't
know,
know
Yeah.
why.
where the black man coming from. But no, I feel like that really,
Speak,
you feel me?
brother.
Wow,
Cause
Jomo.
real love, look, cause Jen, don't be putting up no signs
Hold
on
on a
me either.
minute.
Look, here she
I
go
ain't
with her.
saying we ain't gonna argue and fuss and fight, but you want me to
Can't
be
find
all
my marker.
behind you, and you want me to dress up. You want me to put on, get the little music going with the little oils and all. Like, come on now, that's Tyler Perry
Hold up, I
shit
ain't say
too.
nothing yet. Hold up. That's cool, but hold up. Let me speak. What I'm saying is that a lot of people they judge the success of their relationship based on, you know what I mean, that Tyler Perry stuff, and you know what I mean, or a lot of the movie stuff and all of that. But the reality of it is, like you said, real love is when you want to just, you might want to be, real love is, you know what I'm saying, is, you know what I mean, somebody that's there for you when you got the flu. You know what I mean? And they boiling the water for you, and the tea kettle is whistling. You know what I mean? You upstairs, you turning over, and they come upstairs and make sure the covers is over your shoulders. You know what I mean? They get the Vicks for you. Like all of those things, you know what I mean, are the things that is really real, and we still chasing the feeling. You should have had that feeling in high school. You probably should have had that feeling maybe in college, or you know, in your early 20s. But when you're looking for a mate, if you look at people and their mates, you know what I mean, it's not always the model, it's not always the basketball player. You know what I mean, it's the person that actually is going to care for your well-being, and that can look like anything. So we're chasing love, which ultimately typically boils down to a look. When we talk about love at first sight, things like that, that feeling, typically it kind of goes to, you know what I mean, starts off with like the look type thing. And the look is not what is going to give you the longevity in a relationship. And that's the part that people will just start looking apart for you. They ain't ready to rub your back. They ain't ready to have your back. They ain't ready to, you know what I'm saying, to be there for you and get a last dime or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? For your they there because they know that this is what you're attracted to, and I'm gonna give it to you. But I look in different nationalities, and guess what? These guys is not
God.
studs. They're not handsome. They're not 6'4". They're not romantic looking niggas. They not even protective looking niggas. They don't even look like they really, you know what I mean, could you know what I mean, take something down if they had to protect their family. Half of them don't even. I'm looking at all these different nationalities. They ain't nothing like what some of our, you know what I mean, some of our people are expecting from our mates. We're looking for, you know what I'm saying, all these things. Now look at any of these other married couples. I'm talking about 20, 30 years married, whatever the case may be, or partnerships. You know what I mean? I'll use that term, like I said, partnerships and other nationalities. These dudes is not sexy. They're but guess what? They're partnership material. And that's what we're not looking at. We're looking for love instead of material. Are you marriage material? Are you long-term relationship material? Now, guess what? When they want to have their fun, they'll have their fun, but they're not expecting a long-term material from, you know what I mean, somebody that just looks the part. And that's why I said we're looking for love, you know what I mean, and we're trying to get our relationship out of love when we should be looking for everything else. Everything else. You know what I mean?
So I agree with you, bro. I like what she was saying about the Tyler Perry stuff. They put that together to sell you
Yeah.
stuff. Like
But he's
that's
not the only one.
that,
Like we've been being fed naive views of what love is supposed to
That,
be for
but
years.
just because I
for sure,
use the
for sure.
Tyler Perry thing, men have that same mindset. You feel like a woman should be home cooking and cleaning and all this other stuff like that. Like that's
No,
just not
no,
realistic.
no.
Hold up.
Correct. That's not what men want. That's just usually woman's nature, just like it's a man's nature to protect and provide.
Listen.
Like it's not like society telling y'all got to be home cooking and cleaning. No, that's just what it is. That's a God thing. That's
So let me ask you
biology.
something. So if that's the case, then why do they have pornos? Men love pornos because they love seeing these girls doing these tricks, and the reason why y'all watch these pornos is because the person at home may not be doing it. But I guess that's just a feeling for y'all.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
No, so
It's a
so
feeling. It's a get
a lot
off.
of them do. It
But
is,
they
no,
don't mean
you're
you
right.
want to
It's a
marry
feeling,
that
but you
person.
gotta
And
remember.
then,
That don't
but
mean you want to
again,
have a long,
isn't it
Yeah,
for
have it
an
as a long term
illusion? Isn't
partnership.
it? Isn't it illusion though for y'all? That's just like us watching a Tyler Perry movie. It's an illusion for us. So pornos is not illusion
no.
for y'all.
Yeah. It's
A
I mean, it is
fantasy.
an
A
illusion,
yeah.
fantasy.
but you got. But
Is
listen, it's a fantasy, but you gotta remember,
It's
most of them
okay.
people that's on there that. So my thing, like with porno and strip clubs and all that shit, that's usually the people that power that is dudes that can't get that. There's a lot of them dudes that can't get sex that watch porno, so they gotta watch porno, jerk off at home.
It's
When I
all
was a
types of
little
people that
young
watch
boy, teenager,
food.
when I was a teenager, porn was my. I didn't even need porno. We had Victoria's Secret catalogs.
Stop. This is scary.
it all?
Stop. This is
Bro,
scary. I
bro.
can't take it
Listen,
no more.
listen. If you ain't look, don't ask the question if you ain't ready for the answer.
I didn't ask nothing. I didn't ask
You brought it
nothing
there.
yet.
We brought it there.
I'm listening to
I know,
y'all.
but she did. He did. She asked about porn. Like porn is a fantasy. It's a fantasy
So
type thing.
television is a
So,
Like,
but
fantasy
but you
too.
just made her point. You made her point
but they
because
market.
if we
No,
Television.
no,
watch
no. Porn. They don't market.
it,
They market that love thing, that Valentine stuff and all that. They market that to sell you
So what do you
products.
think
Porn
porn
is
and
all right.
sex.
everything
Well,
in
That's a
strip clubs
porn
is?
is sex. Porn is sex. They're selling you. It's natural. Sex is natural,
oh
right?
my.
Is sex natural?
It's still
Now,
okay. So all of these right here really are like different
are
things
y'all
that we
comparing porn
consume,
to
right?
porn?
When they fed us through the Cosby Show, ain't nobody have a problem with that. When they fed us Married with Children, ain't nobody have a problem. That was my shit. I used to watch them. You know, when
Well, it wasn't
they
as
I
a
see
have
red
way.
been
hair.
feeding
Oh,
us
Peggy.
different forms of what a relationship could look like on repeat,
Right.
like you looking at it, you getting
Yeah.
programmed by it. What you like
Right.
or what you resonate with or what you cling to is going to be whatever you already are in agreement with. What makes you laugh? What do you find funny? Some people got dark humor, like, and that's their version of love. Like they just,
Mm-hmm.
people define it so
But
many
guess where?
different ways, but we've
But guess
all
where
been
you supposed
fed
to
the
get your
same
ideas?
thing, and you choose from
So
that.
guess where back in the day you got your ideas of love
Your
from?
family, your
Your
parents, and all
parents,
that. Yeah.
your family.
And guess
And but
what?
now so
And
many of
guess
us don't
what?
have parents in the home. So many of us don't have parents in the home that all we got is TV. All we got is the Cosbys. All we got is Al Bundy and them. You know what I'm saying? So you prove my point.
So, okay. So let's use an example, right?
Okay.
So my parents were both in the home, but the household was very
Mm-hmm.
dark. I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
nothing, none of my relationships to mimic what I grew up in. But you know what
Mm-hmm.
that did? That made me desire a loving relationship out of fear instead of love because
Mm.
you got to be
Not
taught
good.
love first. You really got to understand what the root is. You got to understand what it is that you're nestled in and what you're being brought up under, what your immediate influences are. And then, because you got your aunts and all of them, and they relationships may seem okay. And if you're a kid, you're really not paying attention to how bad their circumstances are if you already got bad circumstances that you're living in. And so when you get older and start going through your own changes, and then you like somebody, and then your mind changes about like everything just starts to change. You become more tolerant. You think differently. You're persuaded and influenced to do this, that, and the other. And it's like you start to generally put together what you want love to look like for you. It's like a safety
Mm-hmm.
mechanism. I was
But
looking
remember,
for I was looking for a loving relationship so I could feel safe, not so I can love. Once I realized that made the difference, it changed a lot about how I thought about all this. That's why I said the shit is a scam. They've been getting us since the
but
beginning of
remember, you gotta remember though too. Remember though too, the black community has been broken for a long, long
that
time.
too.
You know what I'm saying? So, and every couple, every parent, just because your parents together, don't mean that's a good idea of love. So some people are raised under poor examples of what love looks like. You know what I mean? But again, it goes back to we not from here. Like, you know what I'm saying? They broke our families up a long, long time ago. So two two broken people getting together don't mean that's good love. You know what I'm saying? So that rubbed off on you a certain way. That's why it's so important that we do make better choices, because it's more about us sticking together and being good examples for our kids,
Mm-hmm.
because they're going to grow up and get those bad ideas and repeat them and twist and morph this stuff into something even worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I get you.
But what
I
I'm
get
saying
you.
is my idea changed. You know how people fall in love with the idea of love? Like, and you just
What
stuck in it,
influenced your what influenced the change?
realizing that it wasn't, it was not, it was, I wasn't surrounded by healthy relationships at all. Everybody,
Okay.
like our parents, who were they? The baby boomers. That generation was like the baby boomers, right? So they put up with a lot, and they also blanketed a lot, and they
Yeah.
didn't. A good majority. I'm not gonna say all of them, but I'll say a good majority of them were not verbally communicating or teaching or expressing love. Period. It was, this is the rules. I'm the mom. He's the dad. This is what you do. And I mean, it may have some love and exchange in there, but the like it was
You had
more like
war.
a, this, these are the rules, and this is what I'm saying. You do what I say, and that's it. It was like strict, you know. That's not loving. You can still be loving and get some, cooperation, and have your kids listen to you. I mean, I cuss every now and then. I did earlier because my kids act like they can't hear me sometimes. But you have to want to create a loving environment, and you have to know why you want that. When I realized that when you want something out of fear, it's never going to be what you want it to be. It's never going to be what
True.
you want it to be. And being scared to take on a relationship like that, my first marriage ended up being just like that. And I married somebody that I was friends with since I was 7. But you don't know a person until you start to know them intimately. I don't give a shit what they say to you. Up until that point where you actually see them, that's when you really are in the relationship and seeing it for exactly what it is. Oh God, here come Jackson. Oh Lord. I gotta get my Jackson sign from upstairs.
I feel it. Listen, again, I feel you. But like I said, I mean, that's a lot to unpack. I can't. I mean, I'm not no psychologist and nothing. I can't break you down. You know what I'm saying?
Really, like,
In general, in general, like you saying, like you saw bad examples of love. You know what I mean? So you should never go into anything with fear, like especially love,
Gosh, God, I'm crying.
like. And then just because you was with this guy from 7, don't mean that mean he was your match.
I wasn't with him since I was 7. It was just,
I mean, you known him since
like
you were 7. You can know
like,
somebody
but
for
like you want to have that childlike feeling when, like,
pops.
person you really really like them. And it goes back to that, like, that's that core. You felt that. All of us have felt that as a child. I don't even care what your household makeup was. Aside from that being what it was, I still had, you have crushes. You have them people that you just be so infatuated by, like, oh my God, you don't even know why. Jen, grow up.
No, look, I agree with you. Like I'm like my parents was
God,
never together. So
I can't stand
I
him.
mean,
I need a Scott go away. I threw away that sign for Scott. I'm making a new one right now. He's a pain in my ass. My dad.
Scott.
yeah, my parents
Yeah,
was never
like I
together, so
said,
I
Jen
understand where
grew
you're
up.
coming from.
But listen, Jen, listen. You pretty much confirmed what I was saying, because you just said you
Yeah.
want that high school love, you want that crush. You know what I mean? But that was really ultimately my point. As we get older, we don't move on. We don't graduate to the next level of. We'll go to hell, Scott. We don't graduate to the next level of, you know what I mean, of choosing when it comes to relationships. It's like you'll stay at that same high school level stage throughout your entire adulthood career. You never flip on a switch and say, you know what, I need to choose, men, or partners differently when I'm looking for a long-term partnership, as opposed to in high school we was chasing that feeling. It felt good, like you said, whether they popular or whether they just look good. You intrigued by them. It's a crush. Like that shit is you get a little turn for that, but then it's over once you get to be an adult and you trying to build a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where we go wrong. We trying to build a legacy off of crush vibes, and it's not going to work.
But
But
you
you
can't
got
you
people
Not.
can't
with
you
the high
can't
school
teach
and
one
all that,
without
and
the
they
other.
still be together for 30, 40, 50 years.
But you
So,
can though.
I
You
mean,
said
But you can though, because like you said, back in the day, it used to be arranged
yeah.
marriages.
Well, that's what the hell
And,
they need to go
and
on back to doing.
it's well, it should
Go
be.
ahead.
But
Chris,
listen,
I'm gonna make a sign
it
that
be
says sign me up.
listen though. It be, a lot of that be women though, because y'all don't want to hear nothing from the men. You don't want to talk to your fathers. You don't tell your fathers what's going on. Your father will tell you if the dude right for you or not.
Your father will what?
A father will
Everybody's
tell you if
father
the
ain't
dude right for you or not.
everybody's father ain't doing that. When I had
Not everybody father ain't doing that, but in more in general than not, your father, your uncle, somebody, some type of male figure in your life that's in your family and not a friend that's going to be looking out for the best of you, they're going to be able to tell you if somebody right. But y'all go by
mm.
feelings.
well, that's what we
Y'all
are.
go by feelings. Huh?
That's what we are. If we had feelings, this whole world would be an icebox. This would be the goddamn what do they call it? What they call it?
It got to
I
be
can't think.
balanced. No,
I
it got to
mean,
be
you need
balanced, Jen.
both.
We need both, yeah, but y'all more feelings based than anything. Like y'all go by how the vibe is and
The
I
all that
think
type
we're
of stuff,
supposed to
vibes.
do that.
right?
I think
No, y'all
because
supposed to.
Huh?
I think feelings bring about discernment. Like what y'all are looking at logically, we're looking at emotionally and energetically, and y'all aren't picking up on certain things because
That's
y'all just
right, Jack.
looking at the wall. And y'all like, y'all need that nudge.
No, listen,
And so
hey, Jen,
sometimes
Jen, real
You're
quick.
missing the point.
Bye,
I
Scott.
don't want us to, we never gonna take away, the importance um, of women and everything that you come to the table with, because it's the perfect balance. So that emotion, that feminism, everything that comes with that is unique and it's significant and it's
Who gonna
important.
check me,
Like we
boo?
gotta have that.
Oh,
But it's
AJ.
about the balance. That's
Femininity,
what it
not
is.
feminism.
So what
Femininity,
Joe
not
is saying, which
feminism.
makes sense, is in terms of balance and getting an understanding for, an appropriate partner. Sometimes you do need that male figure, in your life, somebody that you trust that can help you to get that discernment on a guy, because you might be head over heels emotionally, like, you know what, this is the one, woo woo. But it might be that uncle, it might be
And
that,
that's the
that
signs.
figure that you trust that might be like, babe, I know guys like my man. Just take your time with this. Don't move too fast, because I seen these guys before. I don't want to take nothing away from them, but I know what kind of guy he is. He's a guy that's in for the fun. He's in or whatever the case may be, because we can, like you said,
For the
that
street.
same logicalness, that can make life boring to you at times. Like, oh, forget the logic. I'm having a good time. I'm feeling it, and I'm gonna go with that feeling. That logic sometimes really is. It can be factual, and it can be a savior. At times. And that's why we need each other. We need that emotion too. But that logic
Mm-hmm.
is necessary also for the balance. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
Jack said, "Why
She ain't
black
shut
women
me
so
down.
above criticism?"
She ain't
Wow.
doing none of that, bro.
And
Huh?
Jack, we need to embrace that. He said who was
What you
gonna check
say?
me, Bill? He
Jack,
said who
Jack
gonna
said,
check
"Why
me?
is black women
Like,
so above criticism?"
whatever,
Let's
nigga.
talk about it. You know what I mean?
Wait, I missed it. What did he say?
He said
He's he writing something now. Jack's on there. Let's talk about it. Where you
Black
at,
women
Jax?
are also
Yo,
above
go ahead. Look,
criticism. So
I'm gonna let y'all bring him in, bro. I'm about to
All
bust my
right,
grab.
yo, appreciate you, bro.
every black woman ain't
Yeah,
above
yeah, love y'all.
criticism. This is the problem with the majority. Like majority's rule and it's sickening. It's like that bandwagon mentality. Everybody just want to agree to agree. It's
That's
just,
how I be.
it's so annoying. It's annoying though,
Jax,
like, because ain't nobody really taking
what's
a
up?
stance. Hold on, let me get my calm down, Jack.
We got a
Somebody,
sign just for you, Jax.
I'm gonna just
Send
make
that shit
one.
3 times.
I'm gonna make one from another piece of mail. We gotta wait till he gets to 1,000 first. Give him like 10
You
seconds.
know what I
Oh,
mean?
look,
Pops, you got anything to say?
I'm,
I'm enjoying this.
All right, got you. I ain't want to, you know what I mean,
I'm,
exclude you or nothing like that.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I'm peaceful.
I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
I come in peace.
That's a
You come in
lie. That's
peace?
a black ass lie.
Come
He
on, you
come in
breaking up,
peace.
Jax. Get a good signal, man. We need you, player. Where you at?
Y'all, can y'all hear me?
I can hear you
Yes,
now. I can
we
hear
can
you.
hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right, good. What's going on with y'all though? How y'all feeling tonight?
Hey, Jax, how are you?
I'm good. Happy belated. How was your?
Thank you. It was amazing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Y'all look like y'all had a good time and shit like that. And
Yeah, for sure.
in Paris.
Yeah, we did.
Paris. Paris. You know what I mean? It went
Jen, what's
down.
in? How's it going?
Niggas in Paris. Jenny Ben. Your guy Jackson in the building. Where you got a sign just for Jax?
He gotta get upset first. I'm waiting for it.
Oh, okay, all
I'm
right.
waiting. I
Give me.
told him last week. I said you go to 0 to 1,000. He's talking about I'm fine now.
I mean, I am
He
like
good.
like
Hey, hey.
I tell the truth, but I know it's also for entertainment as well. So I got to give y'all some sauce. You feel me? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord.
But I did came in kind of late tonight, but I said the topic is
Your phone breaking up, brother. Come on.
He
my bad.
underwater like Jamal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Under
we
the
out the water tonight, baby.
Hold on, let me
sea.
see if that's better. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like going. I don't know who background is, but it's a lot going on.
Well, I was
I can hear
saying that.
you.
Okay, you hear me? I was just saying that
Mm-hmm.
I came in kind of late or whatever, but obviously I saw what the topic was, like is love a feeling or a decision, and I kind of came in when y'all were. It seemed like Jen was kind of alluding to how um she wants to have, and correct me if I'm wrong, because like I said, I jumped in the middle, but how she wants to kind of have like still the feeling of when we were younger, where you a lot of outside sources kind of like didn't matter, or a lot of outside elements didn't matter. You just kind of loved or liked the person for who they were, and as we get older, that kind of seems to escape us. You know what I'm saying? Like there start to be a lot of outside elements of outside of who the person is, and it starts to be kind of like, well, what do they do, and how much do they make, and where do they live, and what do they drive, and who are their friends, and who are their family. And not saying that those things don't matter, but I think it does kind of get like the older you get, like your idea of the ideal person for you kind of gets tainted by a lot of these other outside factors. You know what I'm saying? So actually, I'm kind of with Jen on that. You know what I mean? Because I mean, I'm also a person who hasn't really.
Need a new sign.
I'm actually a person who has been in a lot of relationships. Um, so in the big scope of things, I'm probably an inexperienced dater. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably inexperienced at being a partner. I'm probably inexperienced at being a boyfriend. You know what I'm saying? I have no experience being a fiance or being a husband. And a lot of the times, I know from my perspective, I actually try to block out a lot of that outside noise. I try to when I'm making the either the decision or having the feeling of me falling for somebody or liking somebody or loving someone, like I actually try to have tunnel vision on who that person is, who that woman is, and who she is to me, how she makes me feel, how she treats me, how she moves. And I try to actually not hear too much outside noise from my friends or from my family, or I try not to look at things that she can gain or lose at the snap of a finger, because I think we put a lot of emphasis on things that we can either lose or gain as soon as we step outside of our house. You know what I'm saying? A nigga can have a dope house and that shit burned down. A nigga can have a dope job and he get laid off. A nigga can have a lot of bread and have Bank of America and all his money going to that. Like, you feel me? So like
I don't know, man. And to answer the main question, because I know I'll be getting long winded, but to answer the main question, I love it because I want to get all this out while nobody's cutting me off. You feel me? Because when we start going back and forth, I know it's gonna be fucking frantic and shit. But like, I think love actually is a multitude of things. I think it starts out as a feeling or as a realization. I think it hits you as a realization, like, oh shit, I think I'm falling for this person. Oh shit, I think I love this person. Like, oh shit, and then I think it turns into actions because
Mm-hmm.
once you realize something, now you have to do whatever it is that you need to do with your actions to sustain it. And then once I think you've gotten to a point where you've proven to yourself and to the other person, you know that you love, they know that you love them because of the things that you've done. Then I think when you're talking about longevity, 10 years, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 till death do us part, I think that's when it turns into being a decision because now you have to wake up and decide that you're going to continue to do these actions because you're in it for the love. So I think there's actually steps where it includes all of those things. It just kind of depends on the stage that you're in. And I will compare it to baseball because that's the thing that I loved the most in my life was baseball and my pursuit of being a professional. And my dad told me that the thing that was most important, he said, I know you love the game, but trust me, it's gonna be days where you don't love it and you have to get up and you have to go to practice anyway. And I think that that's really like the best explanation of honestly of what love really is. It's like those if anybody works out, the days that you don't feel like going to the gym are always the best days to go.
Mm-hmm.
The days that you to me, it translates into everything. The day that you don't feel like communicating is the best day to communicate. The day that you don't feel like doing the chores is the best day to take that trash out. The day you don't feel like sucking a dick is probably the best day to suck that man's dick. The day you don't feel
You
like
had to bring it up, didn't he? Hold
No, it
on.
makes sense.
right,
I wasn't
but
Hold
in
on.
it
I
at
put my
first,
phone
Jax.
on the other
Hey,
side.
Jax, I was totally against you until
Hold
that
on. Hold
point.
on.
I
Hold
think
on.
Jax for president. Continue, brother.
Please.
Lord.
but nah, I mean, but
Please.
if you really sit down and you think about it though, those see like when we think about the actions of love, I think people are in their mind. They're thinking of like the dope things, the romantic things, the trips, the gifts, the dinners, the dates, and the fun shit. Nah, like to me, the actions be the shit that you don't really feel like doing, but you're gonna suck it up and you're gonna do that shit because that other person is worth that, or because or because you don't want to lose that other person, or because you just love that person so much, where it's just like, you know what, I'm doing this for the team. It's not really even about me. It's about us. And right now, this is what's best for the team. A lot of people are not team players, and that's why a lot of people always lose when it comes to you're not gonna win the chip if you all about you. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about men and women, right? Because it's things that men don't feel like doing, and sometimes them niggas is not gonna do it. And y'all know how I feel about when women don't feel like doing shit. It ain't nothing you could do. You feel me? But
Mm-hmm.
that woman is probably, at least in that moment, that woman is not a team player. So you can't really win with people who not team players.
Get my sign ready. I didn't know whether he was about to
I
go to
don't know.
1,000 real quick. I don't know. Because he said that magic line, and you know how women are.
All right, Pat, love you.
You just don't know. You don't know what's going to come. I feel like that's right. Like, also what we don't take into account when it comes to love is that devotion, it's the commitment, like that's the part that's choice. You know what I'm saying? Like that constant willingness to practice understanding somebody else that you just want to be with. Like through getting on their nerves. Yeah, you want stuff to be good. But then when it's not, how you want to act? Like what do you want to do? Do you run from conflict? Do you avoid accountability? You know, that's a favorite word around here. That's a word around here. Do you avoid accountability? Do you want to? I always say humans don't feel like they're responsible for each other, and we are. Like, we're talking about the same things, and we're not finding solutions because feel like, oh, I'm only supposed to just care about me. Well, for what? You ain't the only one here. Like, every form of love is not always romantic. I know we always lean heavily into just the romantic men and women relationship, but like, I think it has a lot to do with yourself, learning yourself. Once you are really confident in who you are, you love yourself, it becomes very easy to navigate through people. I don't care who they are. You can love them like them, hate them, but you'll just know what it is when you get it. You'll know, just like when I said, I think people be out here playing games. You know whether you just want to be out here hoeing or if you want to be in a solid relationship, and you look for that. Like, you figure out what your love is through your process your own way, but I just feel like we need some serious work.
I think
I
that's
do.
I think that's a little. I think it's a little contradictory if you believe in like the elementary, middle school, high school type of love, though, because I don't think
Oh yeah,
those.
wait. I meant to get back to that. That's one of the first things you said. I forgot. So when
Okay.
I was talking about that, I feel like when you're with, I don't care how old you are, when you are standing with a person that you really just adore, you should feel that. You can still have bills, and your kids could be getting on your nerves. Somebody could hit your car outside. You know, you can hate your coworkers, but that's your resting place. Like, are you kidding me? Why would you not want to feel that free? Like, to me, when you can be your whole full self in a relationship with somebody, that's the freedom that all of us are looking for. Because you don't need 10 people to agree with who and how you are. You need one,
Right,
if
right.
you need them at all. But I feel like that's something that probably shouldn't go away. You should, like, that's a relief, because being an adult is fucking overrated. It's annoying. It comes with too many bills. Like, when we was young, my cousins and stuff used to give us 40s and grape soda on the step. Oh, I couldn't wait to grow up. Please, what? Oh my god, it's so overrated. It's exhausting. So
Mhm.
to be with somebody that can bring back that innocent, happy, light feeling, as heavy as being black is, as heavy as parenting is, as heavy as being a partner is sometimes, if you can just be
At peace.
like weightless with somebody, that's big.
Yeah, I think that's difficult. I think it's, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that that's difficult for women to do. Um, Primarily because like, and maybe men too. I don't want. Let me not single women out, but maybe because no, hear me out though. Hear me out because like instinctually, who we feel that way about oftentimes don't really be like the best person for us. If that makes sense. Like, can y'all hear me? Because y'all started.
No, I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh,
Oh,
he
now
froze. Yeah.
you froze, brother.
I don't know. Are y'all there? Am I spinning now?
Yeah, you were.
We
She
was
threw.
talking. Uh,
That's my brother. So
um, nah, but I was saying like I think
What was that doing?
one of the problems with that though is like sometimes like the people that we instinctually
Mute your
attracted to,
background, Jamal.
the people we're instinctually attracted to, like those continuously are the wrong people for us. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the only reason I initially single women out is because I don't necessarily hear too many men who get to a certain point in life and they like make a decision or they come to like they have this epiphany that like, oh shit, like maybe I need to change up like the type of woman that I'm attracted to because obviously it's not working for me. Like that's something that I'm not saying that men don't do it or say it. I'm just saying like I typically hear more women going that route than I do with men. So I think we've all seen it, like when we are younger, middle school, high school, like you do see like most of the women being more so attracted to the guys where it's like everybody can see that this nigga is gonna fucking he's gonna fuck you over. Like we can all see it, but continuously like those are the guys who kind of, you know, all of the girls like really go for them. So that's why I just said, you know, and maybe I'm a little biased, but I think that's something that women may have trouble with, is like actually picking, like, no, not picking, but actually being like genuinely attracted to a decent man, and then not having to be a decision where you have to like really call yourself to the carpet and you be like, you know what, girl, like I gotta start picking better men. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So why, if that's the case, then why do guys have baby moms then?
I have
And
no
they
idea.
not with the person, and they're not with the person that they created the child with. You don't think that
I,
that's poor decision picking of women? Because
it is.
if that's the
Yeah,
kid, if that's not that, then I don't know.
I can't answer that. I don't fuck. Well, when I do, I use condoms, and when I do fuck, I put the condom on, rip the condom off, bust on the bitch, so I see where all my babies at. So you are the wrong nigga to ask that question. I'm sorry, I don't know.
How does it always get here? Wow. I just got like real quick.
So,
Crazy. Crazy around here.
I don't, you know, I mean, I'm only asking that because it's like, you don't think that that's a conversation that a guy had to himself, like, damn, I gotta be mindful, like, these type of girls that I'm messing with, because, like, I can't go back to this person. I can't mess with the type of person I had this child with. Like, this
yeah,
B get on my, like, I hate her.
right. I agree with that, especially like when the actual human being is now involved.
Like, you got a
Right.
child involved.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, it like, they like, you're
I
like disgusted with them. So it
I
makes you reevaluate the type of people that you deal with.
or it just make niggas rethink who they actually gonna bust in. That's really, like, I mean, I still
That
like,
That's true. This is just funny.
but I just can't bust. I gotta pull out
Wow.
that car. That's what niggas be telling themselves. I gotta. Oh shit, that's funny though.
Yeah,
Listen.
let me ask you a question though. Let me because we hit on a little bit of this. When you see, and here's one of the interesting things too is, you know what I mean. A lot of women are, and like you said, almost like traditionally attracted to a certain type of a guy, and that's not typically always the right guy. Like you said, it's like a sexual attraction or even just a physical attraction. To even, I'll use the term, I mean loosely, but like they say, like the bad boy image and whatnot. So let me ask you a question. It like is a
bad boy image.
it is like a I
Hey,
don't,
hey, girl.
is a family man even attractive, or is a family man unattractive to most women, or how do y'all feel about that? Because it seems sometimes
No,
that, like,
a family man is not unattractive.
okay,
But
A family man is not unattractive.
What the
I wouldn't even say
what
I'm
does
trying to
the
pick
instruction say about the family man? Because you know they be lying.
no, I'm trying to pick actually the right word to say, because I feel like a lot of
I
the
need instructions. I need the manual.
no, I think a lot of guys that I know that have been good guys, you know what I mean, that have been, you know, pretty solid, whether they was decent in school or just had a decent head on their shoulders, they got overlooked a lot. Even if we're going back to the high school situation,
Exactly.
you'll have
Period.
you'll have, like, you know what I'm saying, multiple women or females that will be attracted to the one guy or to the small percentage of guys. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Somebody said a man that holds you as his priority is attractive.
that is
Period.
absolutely
Uh-huh.
wrong.
that's not
Absolutely,
good. It sounds good. That sounds good.
I like that.
absolutely
Sounds good to
incorrect.
me.
That's absolutely incorrect, yo.
I'm just saying. I, you know,
No, because
if
then
I'm
you
a priority, you're a
Why
priority.
no,
No.
why this nigga always up under me? Why don't he have his own goals and aspirations? He ain't got no ambition. Like why? Like that's when you become a doormat. You look like a doormat to a woman.
But
That's
Nah.
that don't
not
always mean that. That
true.
don't
Oh my
always mean that.
Listen,
Just
listen.
because he,
Hey,
it
G,
God.
hold
doesn't
up.
mean that he
Real
don't
quick.
have
Listen,
a whole list of his own priorities. It
Yeah,
doesn't mean that
because
he's
listen.
you
not
are a
putting anything
priority.
before her. It just means after he handled all his shit, then she's next.
No,
Like
listen
it's
what I'm
not
saying.
saying that she becomes a substitute. What you doing? It's 12 o'clock. I called you at 11:59. You like no. And like just be, like he's choosing her. That's how I heard her statement.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
He's
this said
choosing her. It's
it didn't
not to
say
say that
didn't say one of his priorities. It says as his priority. That means the top.
but it
My,
doesn't mean that he doesn't have other ones that come before her.
Mm-hmm.
You
okay, but
you got that's why I keep saying you
I,
got to
I
be you
I
got to
agree.
become solid. You got to
I,
become solid. But
I agree with you, but that's not what
okay,
that.
so where's she at? So she can clarify. Oh my God, because you're not gonna drive me. Y'all gonna wear me thin today. I swear to God, y'all.
I mean,
Not wear me thin today. Not going to do it.
I'm just no,
I do.
okay,
Hey,
but
Who is it? Wait,
but but
I don't know.
but listen, real quick though. I've seen that sounds good, and like that's another thing. Nowadays we go so strong off of shit that sounds good. It's ridiculous. The reality of it is, I've seen good dudes that have put, and I'm talking off of experiences from my aunts, from my own mom. I've seen them have guys that they've dated that have been committed to them. You know, showed their commitment to them, rocked out with them, and showed them as a priority, and they just wasn't quite what they liked. It might have been whether it was a physical thing, you know what I'm saying, or attractiveness, some or to a certain degree, but they was like solid dudes, you know what I'm saying, and they really just was like a ball of yarn to a cat. And once they played around with it for a little while, they rolled that motherfucker to the side and they kept moving. But it was the guys that was, again, you know what I'm saying? You hopping off the motorcycle, you know what I mean? You know, the bad boy or whatever the case may be. Honestly, the attraction comes in when you have a lesser level of attraction to women at times, and that draws them in. That's what I've seen, and I'm just talking about from women in my life, from aunts. You know what I'm saying? My relationship with some of my aunts is like they my sisters. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
my
hey,
mom,
girl.
I've seen that. So it sounds good to say whoever is featuring me, whoever is, you know, making me a person of importance and this and the third. But I've seen guys do that, and at the end of the day, a lot of times, you know, females be wanting guys that don't quite want them. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know how to, I'm not gonna put it like that. But I've seen guys that have had all of these other things checked off in terms of being responsible, in terms of, you know what I mean, commitment oriented job and all that, this and the third. And if they didn't meet a certain feeling criteria or look criteria, then they didn't care for them at all. And
But
guess what?
what do they guy background check look
How
like?
many
Like what
days?
type of men are they dealing with? Because that's not necessarily true. Everybody is not looking for the bad boy. Because I definitely ain't want no
Oh,
street nigga, and I ain't want nobody that was all roughing me up and all that. I don't want all that. I never
I
was
mean,
into nobody like that.
but
So that's true to a certain degree. You want somebody that's humble and who's just chilling and got themselves together, and like everybody don't think like that. I mean, I don't
really
feel like
don't.
it's a
They,
like I don't feel like it's every woman that looks for a street guy or
we
want a
can't
street
say,
guy
hold
or
up,
what they can do for them.
we're never going to get anywhere if we're going to say I don't think it's everybody that's anything, because nothing is emphatic. When we
yeah,
having these discussions, I think it's a common knowledge, and we can put this out there now. It's a common knowledge that nothing we're talking about everybody subscribes to. So like we let's just have that common understanding. I'm just talking about, you know, in most cases, and I'm talking about women that have had issues with keeping men, or at least the men that they like they can keep, like, you know what I'm saying, in terms of women keeping the men that they like or that they, you know what I mean, are attracted to, in a lot of those cases, you know what I mean, it's other guys that are attracted to them, that put them first and all those things, and it may be a certain criteria, one or two things, and typically it's a physical thing that they may not be feeling about that guy, and they're not going to feature him. They're not, you know what I mean,
I
like,
I think it's like it's a weird juxtaposition. Like you want, it's almost like you want like the positive, like every person no matter what lane that they're in, right, comes with pros and cons, right? So, for instance, if we just for hypothetically, we talking about the bad boy, the street guy, whatever, right? So they have pros and cons. Like they seem like leaders. They seem like alphas. They seem dominant. They take charge. They're fearless. They're courageous. They'll protect you. All that shit, right? The aura around probably gives energy of he'll also probably fuck the shit out of you while he put his gun on the table type shit, right? Women laugh, brag about that kind of, right?
See?
But they
Anytime, Sheree.
but the cons, the assumed cons, I'm trying to use my words properly, the assumed cons of that type of person, he may also be controlling because he's so protective. He may also have, I hate this term, but toxic masculinity, right? Because he may not know how to wield his power. He may not know how to wield his control that he has, right? He may, because he's used to being aggressive and dominant, he may be physical with you. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, I think a lot of women kind of want to cherry pick the positive attributes from every type of guy and kind of put him all in one. And the tricky part about that is that nigga don't really exist. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't be the guy who has experience in the street, but I escaped jail and I escaped death, and then I went to Harvard because I'm super
Yo.
from Harvard, and I work in corporate America with a $250,000 job, but nobody at that job gonna talk to me crazy, nigga, because I'm from the hood, nigga. Like, it don't mix. Like, and I think it's like, from a woman's perspective, from how I'm seeing it as an idiot man brain, right? Is you want the guy to be dangerous and mysterious, but you don't want him to be that with you. You want to be the woman who's able to unlock all of the sensuality and the his feminine side and his ability to communicate. Like, nobody in the world can unlock that except for you, but he still has all of these other attributes that typically would be toxic, but he's not toxic to you. And now that's the guy that gives you that tingle, that feeling. And shit, I ain't never met the nigga. And I am a nigga, and I ain't never met that nigga.
I met somebody like that.
I'm a female, and I ain't never met these fairy tale females that y'all so in love with too. But I'm just
But just see, and I was gonna say, but don't y'all the guys have their own version of going through that too.
oh,
What describe that? What would that woman look like?
Like, so if y'all see a woman and you like her, like, y'all aren't emotional, so y'all are not using like discernment to see what she's saying underneath of what she's really saying. Like, y'all are looking at her ass, her titties, y'all seeing, you know, if she can carry a conversation, if you care about if she can carry a conversation, because you just might want to fucking get it over with. Like, it's not, y'all not being deep.
But wait,
So it's everybody that falls under that. Guys do it one day. One way. Women do it a different way.
How is that the fairy tale woman if we just want to fuck? Like, that wouldn't be in my fairy tale. A woman who just got a fat ass and she can't talk, she can't put no words together, but she come over and she suck my dick and she leave.
I swear to God, he proves my point every single time. So what I'm saying is, every woman is not thinking that the way that you're saying. Like, that's not always what it is. It's not.
He just made a public service announcement that we're not talking about everybody, but we're talking about, like, I thought we were talking about what seems to be like the majority. What seems
but is that the majority,
Oh,
or
in
is
general.
that a small percentage? Because we're saying that I don't see it.
And I'm saying I did see it.
So y'all don't,
I have met it.
You're telling me y'all don't know
the
women,
miracle man.
y'all don't know women when they were in their prime want these super niggas? Y'all really gonna sit here and tell me that? Now get your sign, because now
You do
I
like
will.
that. That would be, yeah. Look, when you go through enough shit, you kind of do. It's exhausting, you know. Like, you just you want it to be easy. That's it. Where's the
I'm,
goddamn easy button?
I'm
He
trying to
definitely
You
said
like
that.
you just do. You get to that point, like you throw your hands up. The shit is annoying.
address it. I just want to address it. Somebody said Jack said his women have a mile in 10 minutes,
He
and
did.
that's
Wait, what did they say?
He said, remember what Jack said? His woman got run 10 miles in a minute.
and whoever
Oh yeah, that's good.
whoever's just said this right
That was
left out all the
Shantae.
left
That's
all of the context when I said that's my
He triggered. Yeah.
only criteria.
wait. Where's my
That,
sign?
how is that? You telling me that that's not ridiculous? I asked you to do. You got one job, sis. One. And I'm a misogynist because of that.
What does she got? High blood pressure because she can't run today.
Good
She's
lord.
excommunicated. That's it. She's out.
Would you rather?
She,
But look, would you rather want to? Would you rather want to be one standard or a 30?
I'm so tired of this shit. I was just talking to somebody about this earlier. I want who is willing.
I'm with you on that.
Because that comes with so much. Like I said, you make the ultimate choice of, do you just want to be out here in the streets, not committed, just having fun, doing whatever, or do you see yourself trying to build? Like, you talk about legacy, we talk about it. A good majority of us were not taught. Our parents didn't even have the tools to teach us what legacy is. The word wasn't even spoken in the house.
Right.
They said get a job or go to college. That's what they said. Make some money and take care of me because I'm going to be old one day. That's what they said. So all of these different things that we look at now that are important to us, they weren't in all of our roots. Like, that wasn't part of our upbringing.
I'm gonna do
So,
it. Not everybody. Everybody wasn't raised
not
like
everybody. Well,
every,
all right. Well, good. So, all right. Well, then you stand as a unique, whatever you want to call yourself today, Jax.
nigga.
No,
A
but I,
unique.
A unique individual.
listen, I'll say this, like, you know what I mean? The good thing is we had a lot of stuff that was laid down in front of us, whether it was good or bad, and it gave us the opportunity to make choices. So, you know what I mean? Some of us grew up in households that didn't have both parents, you know what I mean? Or did. It might have been toxic, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. But the good thing about where we are now is, you know what I mean? We got enough, you know what I'm saying, to where as though we can have options. We have options now. We can make a decision to create the type of household environment that we really want. You know what I mean? So, you know, like, in terms of like that partnership piece, like that, if that's important, you know, for some people raising children, you know, in a balanced household is important, you know what I mean? So that's the legacy, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And some people, that companionship long term is important, you know what I mean? And my thing is, when we looking for partnership, a lot of times that changes. I've noticed, even like when I was younger, like I feel like even older women look at, you know what I'm saying, find guys that are a little bit more maybe mature or whatever, a little bit more attractive than maybe, you know what I mean, women when they're younger. I think like it basically, your mindset on how you choose, it changes as you get older. You start realizing like, hey, it is more to, you know what I mean, to a relationship or to a partnership than some of the values that I thought was big at one time. I'm just saying we should have, like, I think that is that in terms of maturing, I think your type of partner probably should change. You know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be looking for the same guy in high school, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying, like, I don't think you should be looking for that same type of guy. I think like once you get to a certain age, you should be looking for a different type of person. You know what I mean? And
Well, hold on. Oh,
go ahead.
go
No,
ahead.
but
Sorry.
I was going to say,
I was
but
going to say,
I
oh,
keep
go ahead.
my fault. But I'm gonna say this. I keep going. What's up, Chrissy? Y'all gotta holla at Chrissy Cakes. That's a whole nother story. If y'all seen the cake that Cherie had for birthday, it was amazing. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. But but what I'm saying is, like, we're looking at, you know what I mean, who we want for a partnership based on love, you know what I mean, based on an emotion. But at a certain point in life, it's like a business decision because you don't want to be alone. If you are sick, you do want a partner that's going to be there for you, and that doesn't look like anything. That doesn't have a cuteness to it. That's like deeper. So we almost should be picking our life partners. You know what I mean? Somebody said it in the comments like, yo, you know what I mean? What type of like would you pick that same person if you had a blindfold on? If we had a blindfold on, you know what I mean, and we was asking the right questions, the person that we chose will probably be completely different than the person that we would choose when we had our eyes wide open and we just making a decision based off of what we see. And that's all I'm saying. We should probably have on our blinders and look deeper for the type of partner that we're looking for if we're looking for a long-term relationship. If it's just something to feed our, you know what I mean, that attraction, or just something to feed that, you know what I mean, allure, because, you know what I mean, then that's one thing. But if we're trying to go long-term, we got to look deeper. We're going to have to look deeper. That
Mhm.
person may look completely different than what your lusting eye might want. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thing.
Now, I think if any,
So
Well,
that's the best description
I, th-
of the parallel of the
I was
Superman.
next in line.
I'm sorry.
This is smacking you in your foot on that red, whatever the hell you call that thing,
I
stocking cap.
wonder why did I get married and a little bit of Ruthless, and then a little bit of All the Queen's Men, and then a little hint of the Have and the Have Nots. I want a little bit of all that, and I want to know why do we get married? Episode or two. Okay.
I mean, it was happy. It was
Yeah, it's
happy-ish.
not
Like you
all.
take
It's
something
not
from all
all
of
white
it.
picket fence. I
This what I
want
was.
a Medea family reunion. Okay.
This what I was gonna say. I agree with that. But then there was this. I heard this woman. Somebody Google it. She wrote this book called "Find You, Find Your Man." Right? Because y'all said, why do the women keep picking the same type of man? There's something internal going on in her that she defaults back to the same type of person every single time. She can ask the right questions, but it's the place that she's asking the questions from. This is why I said when I had my goal of being happy, it was to be opposite of what the upbringing was, not just because I wanted to be happy. Those are two totally different things. Her basis around it, and she spoke from a woman's perspective, but it's the same for men. It's like when you know yourself and you're confident in yourself, you're only going to attract, you may attract opposites or people that might not mean well for you, but you'll know how to ward them off way faster. And the people who will be fully supportive of you will never leave. They will never leave because that's a whole different type of confidence. Like some people are picking people based on the type of boyfriends or girlfriends that they friends got because they trying to keep up with what that group of people look like.
Mm-hmm.
And you're killing yourself because your whole thought process, how you make your decisions is just shallow. You don't even know who you are. I'm trying not to cuss. You don't even know who you are. And you making decisions to keep up. They do the shit with houses, they do it with cars, they do it with jobs, they do it in any way because it's an insecurity that they're feeding. Whether they want to acknowledge it as that or not, it doesn't make it not true. And so these are the things that causes those repeat actions. You deal with repeat offenders, like you not talking to somebody that really has a desire to communicate. You talking to people who just want what the fuck they want. And you just look like the one that might give it to them. And that's not fair because then the person that is willing to give you that, you create that now bad ending for them, and then they move forward or try to move forward remembering what happened the last time, knowing that they wanted something good to work, but then finding that you just full of shit. Like, oh my God, well, I was doing it right this time. Like we keep doing it to each other. That's why I said when humans get over themselves and realize that we do have a responsibility to each other. You sit here talking about all of these people, you're not responsible for them, but once you come in direct contact with them, it's a way that you can act. It's a way that you can conversate. It's a way that you can communicate with them. Like I was talking to somebody earlier about being honest. I said this to you, Jax, when we was on here before. Like, you don't have to carry the burden of what that person comes to you with. You can be honest with them And that is the best thing that you can do. It's a way to be honest, but you don't have to carry it for them and be annoyed because it's a whole bunch of adults that don't know who they are and don't even know how to handle their own issues. They like the author of all of their problems and don't even know how to fix them.
Yeah. I actually, you said something. I was thinking of a question like 5 minutes ago, and you said something that just made me think of it again. Like, how many times do y'all think that y'all could like really truly like give like a new person your genuine like love, like the attempt at it? And the reason I ask that is because I've felt like some women that I've come across have been through so much, and they've already kind of given their 100% to guys prior to me. So like I'm never gonna get that 100% from them. Not because I'm maybe not deserving or worthy of it, but just because they're trying to basically protect themselves based off of what they've gone through. Like, you know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I was going to say. It's a protecting mode. Like when women's ego come up, that's to protect. I just wrote something like this in the story the damn yesterday. When women's egos come up from being hurt, that's a form of protecting yourself. And then when you stay in that mode, you get stuck there because you don't want nobody else to hurt you. Like,
Yeah.
it's a good and bad place because you can get so stuck in it that you just don't ever let anybody in. But if you realize that if you take responsibility for your part and allowing the person that came in to come in
Oh, you what's up?
and go through
Stop
them,
right. You can stop right there. It ain't gonna happen.
no,
You can stop right.
no.
Stop right there. You can stop
If you
right
go
there.
through them steps, no, seriously, if you go through that, like you asked the question, I can put my hand up because I want it. I don't want to be in love with somebody because somebody else out there might want it. I want it because that's what I want. So I know all of the different things that I've been through, but I had to do that mirror thing plenty of times to get to where I'm at right now. Like
Well,
it ain't no overnight thing, but I'm willing to do it.
well,
Everybody ain't willing, but eventually somebody, oh my God, this dog. Just hold on a second.
but this what I'm gonna add to what she's saying. I'm gonna add to what Jen is saying. Like I think that that which you mentioned, Jax, in terms of women going through prior relationship situations, and by the time they get to you, you're not getting that 100%. You're not getting because emotionally, women have absolutely led with and have more experience with sharing their emotions. They've been doing that since probably middle school, high school, whatever the case may be. So by the time you do get confronted by a female that you decide to be in a relationship with, at that point, it can be a situation where it's not just a feeling for that woman, it's a decision. I have to make a decision if I want to take on this woman that has had prior trauma, relationship wise, prior situations that makes her not want to completely give of herself. And I have to make the decision to say, you know what? Because as a man, that is really one of the sanctities, one of the things that is so sacred about a woman. And this goes back from earlier in times. Virginity used to be one of the most sacred things because a man appreciated having a woman that was not, in sexual engagement with a lot of other men. That used to be a thing too. I mean, of course, it's different now, but just that newness of that woman was something that was, held in high regard. And for women, sometimes it's different. You would prefer a seasoned man, somebody that has experience on the sexual side. So, sometimes that can be the difference. But as a man, when you do mess with a woman that, does have some issues that she's went through that you didn't even take her through, you do have to make a decision and say, you know what? And this is where some of the terms Captain Save a Hoe, or this, not even with a hoe on that type time. I'm not trying to go there, but you know what I mean?
I Captain Save a Hole. I'll say it.
I've been there too. You know what I mean? My cape is retired, long retired. You know what I mean? I've been there. But we made a decision at some point. I know this girl been through some stuff. You know what I mean? Whether it's childhood trauma, whether it's relationship trauma, because we're talking about these things. We're dating. We're having these conversations. And in my head, I'm like, yo, she's been, you know what I mean? She's definitely been through some things. And emotionally, you know what I'm saying? You know, she's coming with some baggage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or she has some, and I'm making a decision. It ain't just love at that. It's not just emotion. It might be emotion in terms of, yo, I really fuck with her. She's really, you know what I mean? She's really sincere. She's genuine. But at the end of the day, this is a project. I have to make a decision whether I want to take, and once I do it, I'm gonna go all in. But this is a project for me. This is gonna be a
Yeah.
project. The woman may come with, you know, children. You might come with children, whatever the case may be. These are decisions. So it's not. I think that's why, in a certain aspect, getting back to the topic too, and still hitting on some of the things that we were saying. Love is a feeling, but when you decide to make a commitment, it's a decision that you're making now. Because at some point, when all of the rosiness, first thing a girl gonna say is, "Where do you see us going with this?" All right, we've been, you know, dating, we've been doing woo woo, and she start to feeling you. She kind of wants to know where this is going. You know what I mean? So yeah, love is a short term feeling, yes, but a commitment, you know what I mean, is a decision on whatever level it is. And men and women have to make that decision. Hey, I love this guy, but he might not be good for me. You know what I mean? Or the same thing with, you know what I mean, the decision that we have to make. You know what I mean? That's where the decision part comes in from my perspective. You know what I mean? We dealing with a lot of motherfuckers that's going through a lot of things. And so it's bigger than just love. You know what I mean?
You know, as the some kind of like the unwritten, like the fine print of the caption is love, a feeling, or decision. I think like based on what you just said, sometimes you have to make the decision to love yourself more than you love the other person. To know you, to love and to know yourself well enough to know that if you make this commitment based on what the other person's trauma or issues may be, like you're probably not gonna be able to ride it out. You know what I'm saying? Like those are some things that based off of my own, I guess if you want to call them traumas or past relationships with women and stuff like that, like I've learned some things that what I can handle long term and things that I cannot handle long term. And this several times it's kind of made me come back to that bathroom mirror, like talking to yourself, like making decisions on whether or not you want to move forward with something, because you can kind of, I don't even want to call them red flags, but you can kind of see like who a person is and who a person isn't, and like you kind of give them you try to gauge like if they're willing to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I don't know if it was last week or like a couple of weeks ago where we were talking about some people are just unwilling to make adjustments. Some people sit in that state of this is who I am, and I'm not gonna make any effort to change that because you know this is who I am, right? And sometimes that's not always the best thing. Like you know what I'm saying? If who I am, like for me, like if hypothetically, if who I am is a person who doesn't like to communicate with people when I have issues, like for me to just sit in that and just to stand on like, well, this is who I am. Like I'm not much of a talker when issues
Mm-hmm.
like, how is that helping me?
But you know what?
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's interesting, Jax, because I think that is also, to me, what proves love is when somebody's willing to do something that they don't typically do for you. I think that's like a form of love. Like you said, it's not always the rosy shit. It is, love is the conflict. When somebody do something, you be like, oh, he must love that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Why? Because they really went above and beyond to do something that they might not have even done for anybody else, you know what I mean, or themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that's interesting, you know, how you saying that. That's how love, from my perspective, is proved. What are you willing to do? How much are you willing to take? You know what I mean? In a relationship, you know what I'm saying? That to me.
In a situation like that, how do you tell the person? Like, how do you get another person to understand this is something specifically I did to show my love for you because this is not something that I would ever do.
You just say it.
Nah, but when I say like how do you do it, I'm thinking in terms of okay, because like you know how sometimes if people like if you do a good deed, but you announce that you've done a good deed, it cancels out the deed that you've done. That's what I mean. Like because I'm assuming, right? And I'm a misogynistic bastard or whatever. But I'm
So
assuming that like if say for instance if I were to do something for you that I've never done for any other woman, but then after I do it or before I do it, I say like, yo, I let it be known that like, yo, like I never like I'm only doing this shit because I love you, or I would never do this, but I'm doing it for you. So I just want you to know that this is not some shit that I know. Like I think you would kind of get like a like, well, nigga, you ain't have to like, you know what I'm saying? Like you ain't have to do
it
that.
might be a little bit different because, like, people who put certain things on display for everybody to see, it may not seem as sincere. But then, if it's just you and them, and they're letting you know that the way they communicate, what they do, their normal habits. If they realize themselves that they're changing, and y'all dynamic is causing a shift in them, then it's probably good for them to acknowledge it because they seeing themselves go through the steps. And it's like, wow, I can't believe I just did this shit. I'll never do this shit. Let me tell you, I must really, 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 really like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know,
But that's the interesting part too, because here's the other thing, and this is where love gets tricky. I mean, love can be an addiction too. You know what I mean? Because we chasing a high. You know what I mean? And that's interesting, especially when we're just looking for all the euphoria, all of those good, rosy, special things. A lot of people are running around, you know what I mean, with a love addiction. And that's their excuse for everything. And that is, like the song, was it BDP? Love's going to get you. Love's going to get you. You know what I mean? It's interesting because love can be very tricky. When you out here chasing love, that thing, you know what I'm saying, it can turn around on you because it's not meant to build off of. You know what I mean? It's not meant to build off of. You know, people want that feeling, that dopamine. They want that fluttery feeling. And love is the opposite. Love is when, Jax, you're having those days where you don't want to wake up or you don't want to do these things, but you do it because you're committed. So love is the action. The action is the shit that's the realest shit, is the
Yeah.
actual action. But we fall in love with the feeling. The feeling ain't the love. You know what I mean? The feeling is the drug. That's the part that a lot of us get addicted to and continue to make the same decisions because we can't put that drug down. You know what I mean? With that feeling, that fluttery feeling that we're chasing, but it's not getting us anywhere. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
why I'm like, yo, like, and you have to make a decision. Like Jack said, sometimes you gotta love yourself more and say, you know what? I've been addicted to these type of
right.
people, whether it's females or males. Like,
Yeah.
this ain't working for me. You know what I mean? Like, I have to find myself, and that's where Jen, that whatever that book was you was talking about, that's very important. And I say this often, that for real, once you master yourself, you'll start to attract a different type of person. And I think
Yep.
that's where we're so addicted to that feeling, that love. We ain't really getting to know who we are. We're not getting to know,
Exactly.
you know,
Yep.
just look, just love yourself, because I truly feel that the person that we keep on seeing in that mirror is really you. That's that missing part of you that you have not mastered, that you have not gained control of or discipline with, and that person continues to show up, and that person is you. But that is your lower self, that part of yourself that you haven't figured out, that you haven't taken time to, you know what I mean, to get disciplined with. And until we master
Mhm.
that person, they're going to keep on coming to us in the form of different people, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we're going to get the same results. So that's, mastering yourself, loving yourself. And people always shame, oh, you selfish. They get so offended when you want to love your damn self. Like, that cracks me the hell up. Don't nobody have nothing to say when you giving everything you got to a motherfucker. They don't got a turn for that shit. But as soon as you decide to love
It's
yourself,
stupid. It's that.
Mhm.
yeah, it is. It's stupid. But that's a general term. You can use that for anything. You can do stupid shit, all kind of shit. But specifically, you selfish as soon as you want to love yourself. And that's,
Mhm.
key component to finding, love other places is loving yourself. You know what I mean? And then people listen, people appreciate people that love themselves. People, you know what I mean? People don't like when I'm selfish, but they respect the fact that they know I fuck with me. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And people
Yeah.
will take for granted when you don't fuck with yourself. They will run you over. They'll make you
Mm-hmm.
do dumb shit. They'll make you crash out. You know what I mean? And I think that is what reflects in the people that we attract when we don't master and discipline ourselves in those lower parts of ourselves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
You think
Mm-hmm.
you think y'all could you could be in love with somebody without there being any like intimacy? Like you and I'm this is totally hypothetical. I don't know y'all like, but I'm just gonna use y'all in my example, right? Y'all married, y'all love each other. It's understood that y'all love each other, but y'all never hug, y'all never kiss, y'all never touch. Or maybe one person is that affectionate person, and outside of
I don't have that feature. Kenny, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm listening.
and then the other person is like not that's not their thing. So like anytime you might try to go in for a kiss, they be like, ugh. Or anytime you try to like hug them a little bit longer than usual, they be what's wrong with you? Like, ugh. Or like they not into rubbing or massage, like just like sensuality stuff. Like, do you think you could genuinely like be in love, but there not really be any like intimacy like that? Is that possible?
I think the only reason I think it's possible is because people do fall in love for different reasons. You know what I mean? So like like some people they have like different levels of what I'm saying what's a priority I guess in a partnership. So you know what I mean? I guess you know what? So you're stating if one person has a high priority in the affection and somebody else has a lower priority in that affection, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. I think that's gonna be. I think that would be a challenge. I think that would be a challenge if it's a high priority. I think whatever it is that's a high priority for one person, if it's not a high priority for the other person, that's a challenge. That's a challenge. It could be a multitude of things. It could be cooking, right? It could be I love to get a hot meal. You know what I mean? That to me shows me that you love me. You know what I mean? By you cooking a hot meal, whether it's my grandma did it for my grandpa, whether it's stuff I see on TV. But to me, that is what equates to love. It's someone cooking a warm meal. And if you, as my partner, don't want to cook, you know what I mean? Don't like to cook or don't want to cook and don't even make an effort to cook. I think that's what it is. You're not going to make an effort, my nigga, to cook if you know that that's something that I hold in high regard in terms of love. I think that's where the friction will come in, the fact that you're not willing to try to do something for me that you know that I love. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's where it comes in because I've been in that situation and once the motherfucker basically gave me a glimpse of the fact that what I felt was important wasn't that important to them. At that point, you know what I'm saying, I had to make a decision. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
either accept the shit, you know what I mean, and move on. It is what it is, nigga. What you gonna do? You know what I mean? Either accept it because I'm not gonna keep bitching about it because now I'm feeling like a bitch as a man. I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I'm now I know I have to. You made your, you know what I mean, your proclamation. You drew the line in the sand, and so for me, you know what I mean. That wasn't, you know what I mean. I wasn't rocking with that, so I made the decision to, you know what I mean, to keep it moving. You know what I mean. And so I think that's what it is. The fact that I felt like she wasn't going to make the effort to make something important that I made important. I can't live a life of that. You know what I mean? I don't think that will work for me personally.
Yeah.
Sheree, I think you should make a smorgasbord tomorrow because I feel like small
I ain't got to
country.
worry about that. That's one
Yeah,
thing.
flashback. Make him some hot food. Give the reminder. Come on.
I ain't got to worry about that.
I don't gotta do all that no more now. We 13 in. He knows the drill is.
Look, she gonna cook whether she mad
Better make that cereal tomorrow,
or willing.
Jamal. Like,
Wait. Now I know y'all are joking, right? But you actually just said something that I think I assume that would drive me crazy. Like if I was in a relationship with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
because you just said we 13 years in, he already know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, like I think that. Again, I know we're joking, right? But
No, I ain't
just
joking. I'm serious.
okay. Well, I'm joking,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like,
but like I think that is like the that's like that could be like the beginning of the end in a lot of cases where people just kind of like they think that they're grandfathered in so well that
mhm.
they don't have to continue to do the things that got them to that year 13.
Now hold up, Jax. What she said was, I got 13 and he knows what it is, meaning he knows I'm gonna cook regardless. Not
Okay. Okay.
because that's what I heard.
Mm-hmm.
Not meaning, oh, I got 13 years and I ain't got to cook no more. No, no, no. She said,
Okay. Okay.
it's like, please, like that nigga know I'm gonna cook. And that's why I said, well, even before she said that or while she was saying it, I was like, if she mad or not, she's gonna cook. Like it's certain things she's going to do. And to me,
Got
that's love. You know what I'm
got
saying?
you.
Like she might not say shit to me. She might not motherfucking put, you know what I'm saying? I might have to take it out the oven. I might have to do all that other shit. But she's gonna put that shit in the oven. She gonna season that motherfucker. That's what I'm
Or set
saying.
the alarm.
Just to know.
Get yourself.
That to me is love. So when I see
Right.
that, right? So when I see that, either we could be in some heated shit, this, that, and the third, and I come in the house and she still cook food, I feel fucking loved. And I think
Right.
for me, you know what I'm saying, that's what helps to keep fighting because at the end of the day, this motherfucker is relentless. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? I got you. Boom. I might be wrong in the situation or right in the situation, whatever the case may be. But she's letting me know, nigga, fuck you. But we rocking. It is what it is.
Now, hey,
You know what I mean?
now, that's why I think that, and this is why I use this. This is why I use the intimacy example, because cooking is like a thing that somebody could do individually without you being there to still show that they still fuck with you, even though that they don't fuck with you right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Intimacy is you got to like is one on one. Like so, like if I had a girl, if me and my girl, if my thing is affection, but maybe her thing isn't, right? If we just had a fight, whatever, but now we about to the fight is over. Maybe we're not over it, but the fight is over.
Mm-hmm.
Now we just laying next to one another. Instinctually, I may start to rub her back, or I may start to like run my fingers through her hair hat or whatever.
Right.
Now,
It must stop. It must.
you know what I'm saying?
Be a with her head.
I might start to like rub her leg or her ass or some shit like that because that's just instinctually like for me showing that I still love her.
Right.
But the other way around, if you already not like that, like I'm not gonna still know that you love me because
Mm-hmm.
you feel me? Because like I just think intimacy is a little bit more primal because it just involves people. It just involves you and me. It don't involve a gift or don't involve a meal or don't involve you picking me up from somewhere even though I'm mad. Like when you really upset with somebody, like the last thing that you kind of want to do is be around them or touch them or have them touch you.
I
So
agree.
you know what I'm saying? So it's depending on what it is, it could hit you in different ways. Because now it's like, damn, like she really don't touch me in general, but now she really not. She don't even want to be in the same room. So it's like, how
Yeah,
do
but
I
I think that's only based off the situation, though. That only happens with certain situations. It's not all the time, but it can happen, like depending on the circumstances. Like if it's a really deep situation and we haven't really resolved the situation, and you think that you're just gonna come in and rub my leg and rub me through my hat and all that ain't happening. Like, cause right now I'm not thinking about all that. I'm thinking about what happened,
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
conversation that we had that was just incomplete. Like we didn't fully get to the bottom or get no solution. So now I'm still stuck at 5 and 6 hours ago. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
worried about what's going on right now. You better take your ass to sleep. Unless we about to have this conversation.
Yeah.
So that was two different perspectives that I heard, and I agree with both. Cherie talking about an unfinished argument. It sounded like Jackson was talking about both people getting their point across, and now they just laying there. Like, well, what's next? You gonna kick me out the bed, or you gonna hold me? Like, what's
But
happening?
that be from an unresolved situation. Like you got two people there thinking about this unresolved situation. So now nobody don't want to touch each other, even though in their minds they thinking like, "Damn, I do want some, but fuck that, I'm not gonna crack." Oh well, she like, "Well, fuck you, nigga, I ain't gonna crack
You're not
neither. So
gonna
I guess
fold.
we just gonna lay
No
here, huh?"
folding.
But I'm saying it wasn't even. It's not even about initiating sex though. Like if like because personally, like I could rub on a woman all day and it not be me trying to initiate sex. It's just me like showing that like I fuck with you.
And the
Like
skin contact, the
yeah,
touch,
Yeah,
the
like
I mean,
talking
some
without
people. That's
talking.
some people
Yeah.
think. Some people can just do it without don't matter what's going on. They gonna bend over, they gonna do whatever they gotta do because that's just them. But like I said, it
how
depends
you
on the circumstances.
feel like I'm not
Y'all
talking.
both guilty of the same shit. I swear y'all do. Y'all like pass the baton and start doing the same damn shit. It's crazy listening to y'all sometimes. I felt like I was about to say something about love language. I think that might be what he's talking about. Here she go. Well, she just might bend over. Ain't
I'm
nobody
just saying,
bending
you
over.
might because I have friends that say like I don't care how mad we were at each other when he want to do whatever. If he want to do it, we doing it. I can't like some people don't function like that. Like depending on the circumstances or the situation. Like if it's a really really deep situation, like your mind be set and stuck on the situation. You don't really be worrying about what's going on in the moment, and that don't mean that you love the person any less. It's just right now we're not in a good place, and whatever the situation was at that moment didn't really fully get resolved. So you just mentally can't. You just
Yeah.
not there. But if it's a minor situation and that's just your way of making up and kumbaya, oh yeah, we gonna get it in. I might even still be mad a little bit tomorrow, but right now we gonna get it in. I'm
And
just saying, some people function
prayers,
like
my
Mhm.
prayers go out to all of you niggas in relationships, man. That shit sounds so taxing.
It's definitely
I can't wait to meet this 10-mile runner. I'm telling you,
ah.
Cherie, we
Oh,
better be the ushers at this man's wedding.
first,
okay.
first of all,
Yes, I'm
don't
hearing out,
worry,
Did you find
handing
any
out,
contestants
I'm
for Love
handing out
Connection? That's
invitations.
all I want to
don't,
know.
don't worry. You ain't gonna never meet. you ain't
The
you ain't,
hell we are.
ain't gonna
The
happen.
I
hell
think
we
we got one
are. You
in
better
the
be
shop.
excited.
He said,
You
"Cause
better
It
be
ain't
excited, Jackson.
it ain't gonna happen.
If it's just the two, if it's just me and Cherie, Jamal, you can't meet her. Forget
It
it.
ain't.
Forget it.
Cause listen,
Forget it. We'll take
if
you.
we
We'll take a picture.
take a long listen to just reflect on the long list of things that women swear they will never do for a nigga. You better believe running is on the top of that list. Ain't nobody about to run for a nigga.
Please.
She gonna be
You
like, I'm running this mile. What? 10 minutes. You what?
think some women ain't some women. Let me some a lot that I know personally. Only time they work out is when they about to go on a fucking vacation. Ain't nobody about to run for me.
Oh,
No, my phone died.
her phone
hey
died.
Jack, hey Jax, guess what?
What up?
As soon as you go pro, it's gonna be a motherfucking marathon out that bitch. Watch out. They ain't running for the Jacks. This Jacks. But when the new Jacks, when that, you know what I'm saying? When the hardworking Jacks make it over to the promised land, oh, best
Yeah.
be a motherfucking marathon. Watch out. All of a sudden.
Shit. Hey, that's super funny, cuz.
Ask you a question. So this is a good one now too, Jacks. All right. So I mean, you're on your journey, you know what I mean? You're grinding, you're working hard, you focus, you know what I mean? You dedicated, you committed to the love of your life, which is baseball. You know what I mean? You have your goal set and your goal is to make it pro. You know, how is your love life gonna look once you go pro? And more of a spotlight may even be on you. The understanding that you know what I mean, that now you're getting money at a higher rate now, and you know the pressure in the pool from a lot of these women, you know what I mean, that looked at you already from a little distance, but now you know you done went from, you know what I'm saying, now you went from Chris Rock to Denzel, you know what I mean, now you know what I mean, now you
That's hilarious.
motherfucking Idris Elba, you know what I mean. So how is that going to affect your decision making when it comes to choosing a mate? Are you know what I mean?
Well, let me clarify this right now.
Okay.
I am 38 years old. I played baseball until I was 28. So I played professionally from 24 to 28. So I am no longer an athlete. I'm a former athlete. I'm just a gym rat.
Okay.
Sports and athletics is no longer in my future. Now, my version of going pro now would be basically just like advancing in my career in film.
Okay.
So we can just kind of, you know, if we were to parallel it to
Same
that,
thing. Yeah.
like if I was to blow up in that, or not even blow up, but just like really start, like if I were to scale my business, basically scale that way, and I check off the financial boxes that we hear a lot of women talk about. Obviously, you know, my maybe I don't think my lifestyle would really change much, even if my account changed much. But you know, you might be able to see a little changes, like, oh, like he wearing a little bit nicer things, or maybe he lives in a little bit nicer neighborhood, like that, right?
Yeah.
To be honest, I've thought about that. I've thought about it from the perspective of I would probably resent the women who would now all of a sudden be interested in me. So I probably would not give them a fighting chance. More than likely, I'd probably, my best bet, the intelligent bet, would be to see if I can make something happen with someone who I already know, someone who I already have a friendship with. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm big on friendships. Like that's what I've noticed lately. Like as I've gotten older, like I don't like I joke about how, like, you know, I don't be fucking and I don't be dating. It's not a joke. Like I'm serious about it. But it kind of like opens my eyes to like I spend my time and my effort and my money on people that I already value. I don't spend my time and my money and my effort on people that I'm trying to get to know. Like I'm past that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. Like it's something about the way that dating is set now that just doesn't make that seem like a smart play. The smartest for a man who is either trying to be successful or who is already successful, honestly, is to cultivate friendships first and figure out like who really fits your program, and who do you think is really gonna be down for you, like for real, like in the long run. Like my nigga, live your life, like do what you do. But as far as something like really like legit, like I think you kind of I think you have to pick from the people that you already, that have seen you kind of grow. Like they've seen your journey, they've helped with your journey, y'all already have like, you know, that they not there to use you because y'all already know each other. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know that they not there for the come up because, nigga, honestly, they probably helped you come up.
So
in one way, shape, or form.
And this is the interesting part about it. So I do have I have a few clients that, you know what I mean, that's high profile, you know what I mean? And, you know, sometimes, you know what I mean, just navigating through who, you know what I mean, is really rocking with you, you know. But the interesting part is like when you're on a certain level, your pool is so much smaller too. So, you know, a lot of times we're dating people that we grew up with or grew up in like a 12-mile radius, you know what I mean? And that's a small pool. But once you're able to, once you get your money up, once you're able to travel, once you're able to go places, meet different people, open up different networks, now you're opening up the opportunity to meet people, that you would have never even got an opportunity to meet. You know what I mean? And so that's what makes it a challenge also, because not that is necessarily even a person that just wants you for your money, per se, or doesn't appreciate your grind to where you got. Some people just never met you, and you're opening up to completely different people. And it's some people that, they do have a high regard or standard, but they know how to handle a man in your position. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So this person may have known how to manage a relationship of a man that's just come on a come up, but may not know how to handle a man that's on their grind in the limelight with the, with the bag or whatever the case may be. And that can be a challenge, because it's like, oh damn, you acting new now or whatever. I don't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know why that's interesting though, is because like being the new nigga on, like being up, if me being up is new, like I'm still trying to figure out how to handle me being up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I think it would be something new for every party involved. It would be new because shit, like I don't know how, like we say that we're gonna be a certain way or we're not gonna be a certain way, like after like a decent amount of money comes into play. But I think the truth of it is like we really don't know until we there.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I can, based off of my track record, based off of my character, based off of my morals, based off of how I've been for the 38 years that I've been here, I can make a pretty good assumption of how I would be. But to be honest with you, like, you never know, because in a way your pool does get bigger, but I think also in a way your pool kind of gets smaller based on your mindset of if you think people are out to get you, or if you genuinely believe that just more people want to be around you. Like if I genuinely believe that more people are just like flocking to me, then yeah, my pool gets bigger. But if I believe that, like, man, these bitches only around because they see what I got now. In all actuality, my pool is gonna get smaller because my mind, I don't trust none of y'all, because y'all wasn't here when I was just a regular nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like it's all about the mindset of how you would see it or how I would see it. You know what I'm saying? Personally, I would just observe for a while. Like I would try to observe, like if the air is really different up here, or just a facade. Because like at the very day, like I don't think money or lifestyle makes people who they are. Like you, like what Jay said, like you was who you was before you got here.
But you got here.
Like I really think that's true. Like with men, especially with money, like just enhances like really just who you already are. Because now you got the resources and the means to do all this shit that you probably dreamt about doing. If you was the type of, a lot of like in our culture, right? A lot of niggas, like they main purpose of wanting to really get money is so they can shit on people who maybe they thought shitted on them. So now once you actually have the resources to do that, the whole world gonna know you a fucking dick.
Yeah.
You feel me? But if your purpose was never really get money, your purpose was just really to just follow your dreams and follow your passions and be able to help your community and help the people around you and pay back the people who that you stood on. Like when you get the resources, now you're gonna be a fucking philanthropist. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I really think it's like the money and all that shit, it really don't matter. Like it really just put a spotlight on who you are, like in your heart. You feel me? Like in your heart, if I'm a nigga who just want to fuck a whole bunch of meaningless bitches, I'm gonna do that. In my heart, if I really just want to meet somebody who's gonna like love me for me to the end of our days, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah.
If I'm a nigga who at the end of the day I want to meet somebody that's dope, but I also want to experience life how it is when you have resources, I'm gonna do that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it all depends on what you want to really do with your newfound, success or whatever.
Now, I mean, it's just wanted to put it out there because, that when we're talking about love and you know and those type of things, of course, the topic love is a feeling. Is it a feeling or a decision? It's like you definitely do have to make a decision in choosing who you love. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that part of it is a choice. Like you have to make a decision if this is who you going, you know what I'm saying, rock with. So I'm just saying, like, as we, you know, continue to move forward, because I be thinking about you, I'm like, damn, and even with some of my youngest, I'm like, yo, you don't got no kids, you know what I'm saying? You single, you know what I mean? Enjoy life, accomplish your goals, this, and the third. But then sometimes I'm like, well, does it make it harder for you to be in a relationship as a partner when you're so used to just for so long having your own space, for so long making decisions that you don't have to consider others about, you know, for so long, you know, all of those things, not having to, you know, share or this, that, and the third. So you know what I mean? Like, I think it's a great thing, you know what I'm saying, to take advantage of it and accomplish your goals, you know what I'm saying, while you're at this point in your life. But then sometimes I'm like, damn, I wonder, you know what I'm saying? Like, how can you teach that? How can you, you know, school somebody? Because, like you said, which you know what I'm saying, we in our 30s, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. Now, you want to be in a relationship, but your relationship, you know what I'm saying, IQ or your relationship experience, you know what I mean, may be low, even though you may be getting into a committed relationship or something like that at some point, you know, and it's like, damn, I wonder if that's a hindrance or not. So that's why I just asked him, like, damn, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't like. That's an interesting way to put it because your relationship IQ is really not a relationship IQ. It's your IQ of the person that you in a relationship with.
True.
Like, you feel me? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shit, I've been single since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So we like 6 years. So like I'm not I wouldn't be the most well versed in relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I can guarantee you, whoever I would decide to get into a relationship with, my IQ with that person is going to be high.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So like,
Mm-hmm.
it don't really. I don't think it would really matter like what the outside world would deem to be like the right way to do relationships. I think it would just matter between you and that person. Like, as long as you're well versed in her and she's well
You
versed in
gotta
you.
update your Instagram. I tried to make you join. Sorry, go ahead.
To me,
No, I was talking to my brother-in-law. He in the comments, but he gotta update his. I was gonna get him a join, but he gotta
oh,
update his version of Instagram. I just tried to request him.
uh, but yeah, I think you just got to be well versed in the person that you with, and like, hopefully y'all got the same mindset of not really giving a fuck what the outside world think, because I think that's what really kind of sinks a lot of people's ships. Is like, they might be dope when it's just them two on the boat, but you know what I'm saying, like, then motherfuckers on the sea creatures be the ones who be fucking up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it'd be the
But like,
outside source fucking shit up.
I'm talking about, like, even, all right, so when I say relationship IQ, so let's take out the word relationship. So I'll say maybe like um partnership experience. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because living with a motherfucker, you know what I mean, is a you know what I mean, it's a completely different ball game. And when like, if you've lived with somebody else or had, you know, some of those experiences, then you kind of can get used to some of the things that you get used to living with a person. Now, this has nothing to do personally, not particularly with who they are individually, but more so about, you know what I mean, you know, what you're used to in terms of someone in your space. So you might be
Okay.
used to, I don't know, waking up, yawning, you know what I mean? And I don't know, going in there, brushing your teeth or something like that. And now you go in there, or you might, your morning piss, you know what I mean? Or a morning dump, and you go in there and this motherfucker's in the bathroom. You know
Right,
what I
right,
mean?
right.
Like, now, any other time, you know what I mean? You get your joint out, you know what I mean? You do all your shit, you know what I mean? Let's get this day started. Now this
Right.
motherfucker up, and just little things like that, you know what I mean? It can be
Yeah.
from, you know, it's a lot of those things with living with somebody. That's why I'm like, you know, it's kind of interesting. And those can be major deal breakers. You can start to feel like a motherfucker's every time I turn around, you know what I'm saying? God damn, like, you know what I mean? When
Yeah.
So like
Like
some of
the
those things,
family.
I was just kind of like, I'll be thinking about every once in a while because that's a key component, at some point to that companionship. Once you've gotten used to, what I mean, having, everything comfortable. You got this right here, my toothbrush is there, or my remote control's there. You know what I mean? My cup of coffee or tea is right there. I got my, my incense, boom, boom, and then you come in and all that shit is disrupted. You know what I mean? Yo, you see my,
Yeah.
my incense? Oh, baby, I threw them in the trash. I thought that was you. Like, God damn, nigga. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
but what I mean? Those can be small things. They can be big things. But it's just something that like kind of cross the mind. Like thinking about those things. You know what I mean? So,
I've never lived with a woman. Actually, so I'm an only child too. So to be honest,
Oh
whoa.
God.
I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know
No
how that's
wonder
Well, I'm
gonna
why
an
go.
you
only
and
child,
Jamal
so
get
you good.
along. Jamal's the only child too.
Listen,
Oh,
I was the only child. You know what I mean? In my household, raised in my house with my mom. I have other brothers and sisters on my father's side. You know what I'm saying? My brothers and sisters and all that. But in my household, what I mean? In my house that I was raised. You know what I mean? The only child too. But we make
yeah.
great partners, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Lord have
We
mercy.
make.
How you?
Yeah, that only child syndrome, BS.
You know what I mean? We make great partners, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you why too. I'm gonna tell you one reason we do to a certain degree. I'm just jumping out the jet with this one, but I think that what I mean it's important that our women have an understanding of their purpose. You know what I mean in your life. You know what I mean, and if you know what I'm saying, are only child and you have certain requirements, you know what I mean, it always leaves space for you to have a partner. You do have a certain amount of independence, but then a certain amount of reliance, you know what I'm saying, on
That's a
your
lie.
partner. You know what I mean? So
That's a
I
lie.
got the jet with that one. That wasn't well thought out, but I
That's a
put
lie.
it out there. You know what I mean?
They're spoiled
Jen,
and selfish as fuck.
you know what I mean?
They
That
don't
they
know what
always
it's
say
like.
that.
See. I know. See, I was the middleman in my household. Okay, so I
Oh
know
Lord.
all
They the
about it.
trouble
Like
ones.
it's a lie.
They the
You
rebellious.
got the older one and you got the little one. I know. I was the middleman. I know all the crap. It's crap. They selfish as shit.
I don't think. Well, I
Now,
think for
of
me,
course, you
like
would think.
my thing.
We didn't ask you to think. We
No,
didn't
no,
ask you
but
to think, Jack.
you ain't not you. What I'm about. What I'm about to say. But like, perfect example. A few years. One of my homies I played ball with, he moved to Philly, and he became my roommate in my second bedroom or whatever, right? So we lived together. He had brothers, and I obviously I didn't, right? So like every now and then, like he would be out in the city, and he would like stop by like Chipotle or some shit, and he'll most of the time he'll hit me up, but like, yo, I'm about to stop at Chipotle. You want something? And I either say, yeah or no or whatever.
Period.
And that was like that was his style of not being selfish. My style of not being selfish would be I would go to if I was out in the city, I would go to Chipotle and I would just get the shit for myself because I'm not used to thinking about having to think about other people. But when I get in the house with the Chipotle, I don't have a problem sharing.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You get
Mm.
so like I think sometimes with people who do have siblings, their level of being unselfish just starts a level before mine because they are just used to having other people around.
Mm.
So like mine is like I don't have a problem sharing shit. It's just never gonna cross my mind to just be like, oh shit, maybe such and such a one like because I ain't never had to live that life. But
But
that's
that's
not self.
selfish.
No, it's
That's
not. No.
selfish. See, when you have other siblings, it makes you keep other people in mind more often than normal. You're not going to just think about yourself. So, like I said, I'm a middle person. I'm always thinking about other people besides myself. But then I always had to worry about other people not worrying about me. Like my little sister, she's young. She ain't think about me. She's living her best life. My older sister, she in her own zone. Then there's me. So I know what that's like. And I don't necessarily feel like a person with siblings is going to always think of themselves. That's not true. I think that happens because nobody else was thinking about them. So when it comes a time that it's just them, then they just going to worry about them because they had other people around them that wasn't never worrying about them.
But wait, how is it selfish if I got some shit and I'm willing to share it with you?
But why didn't you consider buying me something from the jump? Why do I got to share what you got? Why we can't have our own?
But
Oh
wait,
my God.
question.
What just happened?
I'm just trying to figure out how it make me like. Don't. I'm just trying to. If I come in the crib with something and I'm willing to share it with you,
I
how can
mean,
I?
that's cool and all, but I'm just saying, why didn't you, when you were on your way to Chipotle, you didn't think in your mind to call and say, hey, I'm going to
Mm-mm.
Chipotle. Would you like something?
Well, if
I
any,
mean, I get the
Mm-mm.
sharing part, but I'm just saying there was no consideration of giving a phone call or just to think about the other people that you could be going home to.
self love, man, self
Ugh.
love.
Sheree,
Yes.
stop making me side with Jackson. Now, you know damn well.
Because in a sense, in a weird sense, the person who only has one and willing to share that is
Oh,
actually more unselfish
Sean, here you go.
than the
Yeah,
than the person who's like, oh shit, when I get
I
home,
left my willingness sign downstairs. I was about to,
when I get to the crib, she gonna ask me for half of
right
my.
there.
So let me just call her now so she can have her own. I can have my own. Low key, that person may be more selfish because they don't want to share their shit.
Because they just want their own.
I'm just
Right,
saying.
No, I don't
right.
think that that's
Like, you're
selfish.
not touching, don't ask me for a french fry. I got
You
something
got
for
some
you.
people that's like
Yesterday,
that. So, but if you know that you're the type of person that want to eat all your food, you're not going to come home and share with nobody. And sometimes, most people aren't just willingly just coming home like, "Hey, I got this Chipotle. Would you like some?" No, they're going to sit
girl,
somewhere. They might hide and
yes,
eat it, and then be
listen,
like, "Oh, I didn't even know you was here."
yesterday, my kids, here we go. Mom, can we go to the store and get some food? Go ahead. How you ask me if you can go? No one good and got. I will eat a potato all day. You make French fry, the home fries, mashed potatoes, whatever. They know every single time they go to that store. If you getting that junk, give me some fries. Came back, nothing. That's selfish. How you ask me for permission to customize? How you ask me for permission to go to the store and you couldn't spend your corny $2.50 and get me some small
And see, that's another.
selfish,
That's totally different because
selfish.
if that's different because if I see you, look you in your face, and like that's like if we go to the gas station and you getting out and you pumping the gas and I run in the store and I don't be like, yo, you want something, you want something, bro? I'm about to go in the store. Like
Right.
totally different from me
No,
being
I
outside.
don't feel like that's totally
It's
different
real
because
selfish.
every time I do something,
Doing
listen.
my
No,
doing
I
my
don't
routine.
agree with. I think that that's selfish if you're not taking consideration of the people in your household. Now, if it's just you, that's one thing. But like even for myself, like when I do stuff, I think about my kids. I'm always thinking about my husband. Like they are my priority, and I sometimes I forget about myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying that I just feel like you have to take into consideration the people that are around you, even when they're not around.
Well, I'm talking about a roommate who was a man.
I think that
So
yeah, like that's a little more detached. Like I think it
Yeah.
comes with like it comes gradually. Like if you're used to taking care of you, you're really not going to think about nobody else. Like I was talking to somebody earlier, and I said similar to getting to know a person, you're really not used to talking to them every day. But when you start this dialogue with them, because you like them, you're geared towards talking to them. But that's not your usual. That's you know what I'm saying. So if you used to just shopping for you, getting stuff for you, that's just what you used to. Like you function like that until it becomes like a habit. Like
Mm-hmm.
all the time, you going to stop and get food and asking them. Like it won't be in your mind. It just won't. I don't think.
and who the fuck is you? Why you ain't grown enough to get your own Chipotle? Like how you gonna
Damn.
how you
All right. See, now y'all taking this.
how you mad mad at me because I was responsible enough to feed myself. And then
Yo,
Not with my body sitting
Lord.
right here.
but it's funny because even with the whole with the food thing, you know what I mean? It's funny because you do. I always look at it like this: like we talk about more selfish or not. I don't typically think. I don't think I know I'm not selfish. You know what I mean? Sometimes I get that rap, and I get the whole single child, single parent. You know what I mean? What they call it? Only child
only
from Cherie. But the crazy part about it, Jack's like, I will give you, you know what I'm saying, my last fry. If I got 50 cents in my pocket, you know what I mean? For people that I love, you don't just got 25 cents, you got 50 cents too. You might even got $1 because I'm gonna be like, all right, well how we gonna figure out getting this other 50 cents? You know what I'm saying? Right. Now some people might look at it like even on the other scale, like who cares the most? Let's just say you got a guy, right? And he got $1,000 and he give you 100. You know what I mean? Or you might got a guy that you know what I'm saying got $50. You know what I mean? And he give you 50. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares more? Is it the person that got the, you know what I mean? He got 1,000, he gave you, you know what I mean? Or he gave you $50 too. He got $1,000, he gave you 50. But this other person had just 50 and they gave you their last. So
all the women gonna say, why he only got $50 though?
wow, that's sad.
I don't know about that.
Not me.
But that's
Why he only got $50?
but that's
I don't know
What
about
are
that,
y'all
Jack.
grabbing? I fucking hate this. I'm sorry. My bad.
I left my son downstairs, Jax. You gotta chill.
You
no,
must
but
be stopped.
that's real though. Like sometimes we gotta look at that. You know what I mean? It's somebody that's really just throwing you some change, and I'm just using that, you know, loosely, but throwing you some change when they got it, as opposed to somebody that's giving you their last when they don't. So we have to be able to decipher between that too when it comes to people. You know what I mean? Like I get called selfish because you know what I mean. I prioritize. You know what I'm saying? You know, satisfying myself, like, you know what I mean, or not even satisfying myself, but I prioritize, you know what I mean, my you ain't the only one, Jax. That came out the wrongest way. But I prioritize laughing too. Like, yeah. Anyway, I just prioritize, you know what I mean, the fact that, you know, I gotta, you know what I mean, my own happiness is my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? It's certain things that's your responsibility. And, you know what I mean, sometimes you get called selfish for that, but I don't think so. Especially when I'm willing to give, you know what I'm saying, my last for, you know, the people that I care about. So that's, you know, that's what I think is important. Knowing that somebody is willing, you know what I mean, to give you their last or whatever like that, to me, that means something. Just knowing that you're willing to do what you gotta do for me, or you know what I'm saying? So what you think, Sheree? Well, look, we about to close anyway. Let's give our closing statements. Let's give our closing statements.
Three got Z's floating over her head.
We gonna start with Jax. You know what I mean? With our closing statement.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. I just think I think we have to, in a sense, get past love being only sacrificial. Because I think myself included, right? Myself included. I think a lot of the times we tie how much we love someone with how much we're able to kind of like cut off our own nose. You know what I'm saying? To cut off our own legs. And I think love has to be much, much more than that. I think we just have to be able to figure out ways to communicate it or to show it in different ways. You know what I'm saying? And make sure that the person that we're doing the actions for or making the decisions for understands why we're doing the actions and why we're making the decisions. And I think a lot of the time, like sometimes we lean on the actions without the affirmation of it. And I think it just works a lot better when you just do both. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, I'm doing, you know, I talk to my dad a lot of the time, and instead of saying like the formal I love yous, like he does say that, but he also, there have been moments where he's like, yo, you know I love you, right? And I'll be like, and it would legitimately like be a question. And I'll be like, yeah. He was like, yeah, I'm good, man. I just want you to know I love you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then he does. He's a great father. He's a great dad. He does the things that that love that you would think that love looks like. So I think sometimes we get caught up in just doing one thing when honestly we just need to do both and communicate why we're doing something and why we feel the way that we feel and continue to just do the things. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got.
Solid. Jen.
I left my signs downstairs. I just want to say everything's a scam, guys. Get it together.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I think I'm writing something. Just please, just chill. Where's my sign? Just chill out. X is square. Just can you fog it or something? Anyway, I feel like that's what I was gonna say. I feel like a lot of us have suffered. I know y'all are Muslim. I was raised Christian. You know, I blame the church sometimes for how people have become so confused around what being selfish means, because selfish has a negative outlook on it, when sometimes you have to be to yourself. Like, you have to learn who you are, because that's how you get to be the best version of whatever for other people, if you want to be supportive to other people. But I feel like a lot of times, even as a child, I felt into different forms of guilt because I wanted to do something for myself, and I hear in the back of my mind, no, you got to look out for somebody else. No, you got to do that. You got to do that. And it becomes this thing that you grow with. So this is why I'm saying, as you get older, once you start to learn yourself, the things around you, your perspective, your circumstances, and even the people that start to come into your life will change and balance with the things that you desire. So I'm just standing by what I said about find you. She said, find you, find your man. But I'm like, find you, find everybody. You know? Find you, find your tribe.
Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
My closing statement for the topic is love a feeling or a decision? I think that love is a feeling. And because it's a feeling, you can't build a long-standing partnership off of feelings alone. So I think that, you know what I mean, we have to look deeper than love. And the aspect of love, we pick and choose the parts of love that we want to you know, appreciate. So we'll pick the side of love that gives us butterflies, but we won't pick the side of love that says stay in there when your relationship is challenging. You know what I'm saying? We'll run from that side of love and we'll give it another name. We'll say, oh, it's what was selfishness, or is, you know what I mean, control, or is toxicness. No, it's just love. It's love. It's love, you know what I mean, giving you an opportunity to prove, you know what I mean, that you know what I mean, that you are, you know what I mean, in love with the situation, you know what I mean. And that's the challenging side of love. We can't just take the butterfly side of love. We have to take everything that comes with it. And that's the sacrifices, you know what I'm saying? That is the challenges. That's the patience, you know what I'm saying? Those are all of those things that, you know what I mean, we look at a relationship for and kind of like down. But when you really are in a partnership, that's the real shit. That's the love. When the sacrifices are made, you know what I mean? That's the real love. All of the fuzzy shit is not what you're going to be able to build a long-lasting or long-standing relationship off of. You have to, you know what I mean, you have to appreciate all of the aspects of love. And the challenges is probably the part that is going to allow for a relationship to last the most. So be prepared for the challenges in love. And that's the part that you have to fall in love with, is love in its totality, the good and the bad. So if you fall in love with love in its totality, the good and the bad, then you'll have a better chance as opposed to you falling in love for just all of the rosy fuzzy shit.
Yeah, I agree.
Sheree?
She like
She's
love.
sweet.
Love is sleep.
Just say it, Cherie. It's a scam. Good night.
I mean, love is not a scam, but I
It's not a
definitely
scam.
believe that love is the fuzzy too. I can't go against the fuzzy because I feel like we all want it, even though we all act like we don't want it. But of course, it's not the white picket fence either. We all know that. But you know, it's really only love is only what you make it. And it's a marathon and it's not a race. So it's what you make it though at the end of the day, you know. I'm sleepy.
She's falling asleep. Good
All
night.
right, close
But
this
I
out.
appreciate you guys coming on tonight. If anybody that just tuned in and missed this episode, the link is in my bio and you can go like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Davises and Friends. And we'll be back next Wednesday, same time, 8 p.m. And also, please make sure you go on and put your
Voting.
questions in. You know, I do the polls every week. You know, I want to hear from everybody. This is an open platform. It's not just a one side thing. You know, I'm open to anybody who wants to speak, who has any topics they want to talk about.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place.
Deuces.
Chip, chip.
Bye, y'all.
Deuces.
Bye.